You forgot. I'm a kid. 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 And in case you forgot.
Hey, what's up, E? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you, brother. Man, it's been so
All right.
long that I kind of forgot how to hit certain switches and and certain things here, man. What's good with you?
Oh man, everything.
Good.
Life is good, man. I ain't talked to you. What, it's been 3 weeks now, right?
Has it been that long?
I think it's been 3 weeks
Woo,
since we last did a show.
really?
Yeah.
It's a long time, man. I know you were in Vegas at one time. Have we spoke since you've gotten back?
No, we haven't spoke since I got back from Vegas.
Wow, that's nuts. All right, I'm just want to get this set up right here so I can see the comments on my end from my page. All right. So what's been up in the last 3 weeks, brother? What's happening?
A whole lot and nothing at the same time. I can officially announce to everybody, because last week was just chaotic. I think I only went on one day for like 1 hour or something like that. It was just chaotic. But that's all done now. I can officially announce.
Jeez, my bad. That was
Oh my
me.
goodness. I can officially announce now. You'll be able to catch Gospel Superfest Holiday on BET Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. We in prime time on BET. Yeah, everything got delivered.
That announcement.
What was that?
I said, did they send us a check for that announcement?
Everything got delivered and accepted in the right format and all that stuff finally. So yeah, that's all good. You can also check it out. It'll be a slightly different show. Gospel Superfest Holiday on here locally, Channel 5, Christmas Day at, I believe, 3 p.m. But it's syndicated all around the country and every market. If you in Dayton, I think it's like Christmas Eve at 7:30 p.m. or whatever. I don't remember what station, but it's all over the country. That portion of that project is done, and people can go check it out. People can check it out.
Well, that's good. You done?
No, I'm done with that portion. Secondly, the second biggest thing going on in my world right now is this little baby's birthday today.
Happy birthday, little baby.
They said happy birthday, little baby.
I knew it was something special about her. She's a Sagittarius like myself.
All right. But yes, she turns the big 5 today. The big 5. She says
is she right there? Is she right there or what? Is she there?
Yeah, she right there. Stand up.
Everybody say happy birthday to little baby.
Wave to the people. Just wave like that.
Happy birthday. She don't say much of nothing.
You're not going to wave?
She about as sweet as she want to be, y'all. Really, she is.
So
She's not
yes,
even.
today is her birthday. She says she's tired of being tiny, and so now she is 5.
Right, right. Well, I knew it was something great about her. She's gonna be great. She's a Sagittarius, and us Sagittarius, we tend to we got a lot of business sense, bro. We bar none. We bar none. So I could tell that's why little baby don't say much. She do more than she say, and that's my kind of girl. She do a lot
Yeah,
more
somebody
than what
said,
she
"Is that
talk
my
about.
daughter?" No, no, no. It's my granddaughter. My
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
granddaughter, and she is 5 years old today. So I get it, and she's no longer tiny.
Yeah, well, 5 going on what, bro? Because my daughter, when she was 5, she was very, very smart. And kids today are a little bit more advanced than they were when I was coming up. So they know more. These cell phones and all this information in front of them, they tend to learn a lot faster these days.
But other than that, that's pretty much all that's going on. Life is as usual. Is progressing. What's going on with you? What's going on with you?
Nothing, man. I just got, like I told you this morning when we were talking, a text us. I just got back in town this morning. Bro, I don't know how many years now, for literally for 40 years of my life at least. There's this thing over in Kentucky when you come around the corner. What is that, 75, the expressway right there when you're coming around the
71,
corner?
75. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. It's just this visual when you're coming around the corner and you see downtown Cincinnati and you see the stadium and all that stuff. That is
Uh-huh.
the best feeling in the world. Okay, when you've been
Oh.
on the road a lot. I had a long drive this time. I actually drove because flights were a little problematic for me this week. I had a last minute situation, so I went to Louisville, and I had to go down and come back in a couple of days. So I drove. Louisville's not far, but it feels far when you're not driving much, when you don't drive a lot anymore. But it's still that feeling, bro, that when you come around that corner of 75 and you see, if you're a Cincinnati, y'all know what I'm talking about, if you travel and you do things, that is somebody said, Broken Wing said, that's a depressing sight. No, I don't think so. I think it's a great sight. You've been on the road for XYZ amount of hours. You come around that corner and you see the lovely city of Cincinnati right there. It's a beautiful view, bro. I'm telling you, especially when you've been on the road, you've made it back home. A lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It used to be a depressing sight to me, but
Really?
yes.
Oh, no. No.
Man, it was like a cloud was sitting over Cincinnati. Just
Jeez.
all of the nonsense that you deal with in Cincinnati. But then you get away for a minute, and when you, like you said, when you've been gone for a minute and then you come back and it's like I'm finally home,
Yeah.
So
Let me ask y'all,
I
where the
get
hell do y'all go where it's so much better? I'm just curious. Everybody talks about Cincinnati, it's so depressing, cloud over it. Where are y'all going that is just so much better? Now, I've lived in a lot of cities in my life, and I just tell you that Cincinnati is a great place.
Okay. And different people have different experiences in different places.
Okay.
So it all depends on what you're dealing with, what you go through in Cincinnati. You might think it's a great place, whereas you go somewhere else and maybe you don't deal with the same stuff that you deal with here. And you're like, this is a better place, but it's just better for you in that time. So, yeah.
I understand. I was just wondering because, I heard it my whole life growing up, when I go to the Natty, being in the Natty, I hear things. I have friends that would go places during the summer and they would say, I hate it here. I never come back and blah, blah, blah. And your ass be right back in school, the first day of school in Cincinnati, and you living here. You're doing what you're doing. But for some odd reason, everybody thinks, and here's what's crazy about it. I've been a lot of places in my life, but what's funny is when you go to these other places, the hometown people say the same thing about their place.
Yeah.
Do you understand? If you go to Atlanta, the only people that like Atlanta are people who's not from there. If you're an Atlantean, they like, oh shit. Now I ain't saying if you're from College Park or somewhere outside the outskirts of Atlanta trying to big up on Atlanta. I'm talking about people that's actually from Atlanta. They don't be on that shit. I gotta go somewhere else. I'm going to Houston. They all do that. Everybody talk bad about their city. And most people that love the cities or where they are from somewhere else. It's just weird. It's weird, bro. I've noticed that for many, many years now.
Yeah. That is the way it is. That is the way it is. All right. You know what we got to get into? We got to
Okay.
talk about it. We got to talk
get it.
about it. I see you got the shirt on.
I'm a Jackson State guy. I didn't go there, no. But I'm a fan.
All right.
Been a fan.
Okay. So what do you think? What do you think? Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, left Jackson State, went to Colorado, and there are a number of people who are critical of his decision. Now, I have to say, I haven't heard anyone say he don't have a right to make the decision that he make for his life, because he a grown man. He can make whatever decision he want to make for his life. But there are people with criticisms of it. What do you think?
Why criticizing? What did he do wrong?
Well, it's not even necessarily from my perspective what he did wrong. Because that's subjective.
Did he do anything that most college coaches don't do?
I think so. Yeah.
What did he do?
I think what he did was, well, let me just say, here is my issue with it. Here is my, since you don't want to say how you feel about it.
No, my question. See, you can obviously tell how I feel about it based on my questions. I don't think he did anything that he said he wasn't going to do. He went there. He built the program up. It took him 3 years to do it. He paved the way. He left an excellent program in great shape. They earned a lot of money. They got national publicity. They did everything that a coach is supposed to do. They won championships. He donated half his salary back to the university. He made $300,000 a year there. He only collected $150,000, and he gave the other $150,000 back to the program. What did he do? He did more for that organization than any coach has done for their organization.
Well, number one, there's no way for you to know that for sure.
Well,
unless
I'm talking about HBCUs. I'm being specific.
No, I'm being specific too. To say that he's done more for HBCUs than any other coach ever in the history of HBCUs,
that's pretty
might
broad.
be overselling it just a little bit.
That's pretty broad. I will give you that. But I think that a lot of people will agree in the last 25 years, there hasn't been anyone in the HBCU programs that have done what Deion Sanders has done. So let's say in my lifetime, he's done a little bit more than most coaches. I'll say that. Okay. And I'll say that with confidence.
Now, here is my issue with Deion. And let me get some stuff out the way first, because people will accuse you of stuff that's not real. I support Deion. I hope he does really well in Colorado. I would love to see him win a national title. I liked him when he was playing. All of that good stuff. So I support him. He's got a right to make whatever decision he wants to make for whatever reason he wants to make it. But I would say he's a bit of a hypocrite, if you ask me. He's a bit of a hypocrite. Here's why I say he's a hypocrite. I say he's a hypocrite because one of his selling points to all those blue chip players that he was trying to he actually got, and I'm sure it was his selling point to other, very high ranking recruits. He said this out loud, which is how I know that this was one of his pitches. Basically, this is for the culture. You don't need to go to one of these majority white schools. They don't care about you. We care about you. This is a culture thing. You don't need them to be seen. You don't need them to be accepted. You don't need them. You don't need them. Anything that you want to accomplish, you can accomplish outside of that system here in the HBCU system. For us, by us, you can do this right here in HBCUs with us. Okay. And a lot of them bought that. And they went to the school. But then when he got an opportunity.
How many of them actually did that?
A number of them based on things that I've heard him say and things that I've read.
You're saying that he recruited how many blue chip players in the last 3 years that he's been there?
I don't know the number.
I can tell you he's recruited one.
So let's assume it's only one. But he's recruited other highly touted recruits that could have gone elsewhere, but chose to go there.
None of them chose to go to his school over a big a powerhouse 5 school or a powerhouse. When you say powerhouse, we're talking
That's
about.
well, that's not the way he presented it.
Well, of
Now,
course he's not
now
going to
look,
say it that way.
if he lied, then that's on him. But he said that he's recruited people away from these big Power 5 schools on the strength of that argument. And
there's a
if
strong
I can
possibility that he did.
if I can find the article, and I believe there was a video attached to it. So if he lied, that's on him. That colors my
but
perception.
what you just explained, E-Man, is not necessarily a lie. Even if it was said, all powerhouse teams say the same thing to their recruit. You don't need Alabama. You don't need Arizona. You don't need this school. We're going to do you right here at Florida State.
Hold on. But he didn't say, according to him, he said basically for the HBCU system. We need to build the HBCU. That's what he was selling to them. Don't go to the white institutions. We gonna build the HBCU system.
Well,
that's what he said he was selling to them.
Hold on, E. I gotta send a different approach on that. It's hard for me to believe that he was selling don't go to the white institutions, because he never said that he was never going to white institutions out the gate. He didn't give a commitment of lifetime to Jackson State. He didn't give a commitment of lifetime to HBCUs. He said this was an opportunity for him to step into a coaching opportunity. And what he brought was his charisma, his celebrity. He brought all of that, and he used it to recruit. Yes. But guess what he's doing? He's also taken a lot of those players with him. He's taking a lot of those.
Which is even much more. That adds to my argument.
No, bro, it adds to the fact that the opportunity is there that these kids would have never had. These kids were not drafted. They were not recruited by these Big 10 schools, Big 12 in the pack. A lot of them were never drafted by the big schools. They weren't.
The fact that he used that as his argument, that you don't need these white institutions, we gonna build this here at a black institution, and we can build this black system because this is just as good as anything else, then to say, well, but what he did was one of the white ones came calling, and I gotta take that opportunity. But wait a minute, but you talked to some of those kids out of that same opportunity that you couldn't resist. You couldn't resist it. And look, I'm not saying that he shouldn't go. All I'm saying is that's hypocritical. Now, he can be hypocritical, but that is hypocritical for me to tell you, Wyatt, look, don't take that deal. Wyatt, don't take that deal. Well, you can do a better deal here. Wyatt, don't take that deal. And then they bring me the deal, and I say, oh, Wyatt, I can't pass that deal up.
Here's the difference.
That's hypocritical of me to do that, and that's what he did.
Here's the difference, Ian. I'm going to tell you this from experience, not my experience, but I do have a nephew that's going to Ohio State this year. And let me tell you what happens. A lot of those big white schools make all these promises to these kids. And when they come to the school, you could have been Mr. Ohio, the running back, Mr. Ohio for 2 years in a row. When you get to Ohio State, they're going to have 6 different Mr. Ohio's, Mr. Kentucky, Mr. Florida, Mr. everything. A lot of those kids don't even get on the field because of the competitive level. So if Dion is telling them, come to Florida, to Jackson State, you'll get an opportunity to play because we're going to look out for you. We're going to get you on the field. We're going to get you some minutes. We're going to get you some film work. That's a commitment.
But don't leave out. Hold on. But don't leave out and do it for the culture. Do it for, this is a HBC. When you use that as your selling point, so as to say, look, we doing this as black people for black people because we as black people don't need them white people.
But is it fair to say that even if he did what you're saying, that the school and HBCUs and the SMAC, the whole organization, everybody
SWAC.
SWAC. What did I say? Smack?
Yes.
SWAC.
See, you like right. Dion. You ain't SWAC.
Well, let me just say this. Is it true to say, or is it honest to say that everybody benefited?
No.
They didn't benefit from Deion Sanders being in the HBCU SWAC?
Hold on. Define who everybody is. Because that's another thing. Hold on. See, that's another thing people keep saying. All the HBCUs benefited. How did Central State? Hold on. How did Central State benefit from Deion Sanders being at Jackson State?
Bro,
how did Wilberforce benefit from Deion Sanders being at Jackson State?
Do these programs have football?
Yeah.
Okay. So number one, ESPN gave them a $30 million deal for 10 years.
Gave who a $30 million deal?
They gave the SWAC a $30 million deal for 10 years.
Hold on. That's SWAC. I said,
because y'all said football.
No, y'all keep saying all the HBCUs benefited from Deion Sanders being at Jackson State. And I keep hearing that over and over. And I'm like, call Central State and ask them how much money did they get from the SWAC getting a deal with ESPN.
I don't think you understand how that works.
Call Morehouse and ask them how much they get.
Let me ask you this. When the NFL gives and I know you don't follow the NFL, but I'm going to use this as an example. When ESPN gives the NFL $400 million for Monday Night Football, and let's say the Bengals never play on Monday night, you don't think they still benefited from that $400 million, even though they don't play on Monday night?
Hold on. Let me ask you this to answer your question with a question. Do you believe that if the SWAC get $1, that Central State get 10 cents of it?
They do. They get paid.
No, they don't.
Oh my God, E, you don't understand the structure of how it works. Yes, they do. They get paid to go play those games if it's televised.
They don't play the SWAC. They not in the SWAC. They don't play there.
Wait a minute. We're talking about the people who fall under that the organization of the SWAC.
That means you're not listening to me. That means you're not listening. I said, y'all keep saying
they have football organizations in the SWAC. Do they have football?
Y'all hold on. Y'all keep saying that all the historically black colleges and universities benefited from Deion Sanders being at Jackson State. You might not have said, well, you actually did say it, but I think you didn't mean it that way.
I thought we were being specific. We're talking about what Deion Sanders was involved in, who he affected.
Hold on, but that's why I'm bringing this point out, because the idea that he affected all HBCUs and all HBCUs benefited from him being there is ridiculous.
Let's be clear. That would be a ridiculous argument from me.
Thank you. That's what I'm telling you.
Why would I argue something so ridiculous that he affected?
Wyatt.
We're talking about HBCU football.
Wyatt. People are making that argument all over the country. People are making that ridiculous argument.
Well, I don't think maybe they don't understand, or maybe they're not projecting what they really mean. No one is saying, if you understand how this works, no one is saying that he has up the enrollment at Central State University because
people are Wyatt. People are saying that. Go on the internet and read. People are saying all manner of foolishness. People are saying that. I agree. That doesn't make any sense. Which is why I brought it up, to say it makes no sense.
Okay.
I'm trying to deal with all of the nonsense that's out there to get to the point, which again, my whole point about Deion is what he did is hypocritical. He got a right to do it. It's not wrong. He didn't hurt nobody necessarily. Like, maybe if I was one of the parents and he recruited my kid for the culture and came to my house and stuck all 7 of his toes under my table and said, this is for the culture, and then you leave, I might be upset. But that wasn't the case with me. But he is clear. What he did is clearly hypocritical.
But look.
But again, that don't mean he don't have a right to do it.
But no, because that would make it sound immoral. Like he did it using the code. See, to me, that would be immoral. And
that's what he did.
I don't think he's immoral. But let me just say this to you, E. How long did he tell you he was going to be a coach at Jackson State? How long did he commit to be there?
He didn't tell me anything.
Well, I mean, what makes you think he was going to stay there forever? He's always made his plan very clear from when he was in high school coaching his son. It's always been he's following his son. They're working together. It's never been I'm going to be the next, what was Eddie Robertson and be 97 years old coaching Grambling and shit for the rest of my life. He never made that type of commitment.
Because who wants to commit their life to coaching at a HBCU forever when they can go to a white school, and we all know white is better. So why would he make that commitment?
That's
why?
ridiculous,
So then why even bring it up? Why even use that as your selling point? Do you think the other coaches at the HBCUs are going to these kids telling them, "Hey, look, man, black is better, and don't go to them white schools," and waiting for that call from the white school? Well, maybe they are. But if they're doing that, they're hypocritical.
Every coach in that SWAC is saying exactly the same thing. That's hypocritical. And you holding prime
hypocritical time. If they are.
You holding him, it's more critical that he did it. And the other ones do it too. You don't need to go to Ohio University, that white school up there. You're gonna get playing time right here at Tuskegee. It's
hypocritical. Whoever doing it.
They do it.
If you ain't in it for the culture, which Deion wasn't in it for the culture, this was a stepping stone for Deion, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with that
for the culture. I can tell you that
he moved the needle at Jackson State. I agree.
No, he moved the needle.
But look, here's how he moved the needle. Some of it just came through his celebrity, which you can't blame him. He was good. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame him for being a celebrity. But I am interested to see how he does coaching at Colorado.
He gonna turn up.
We'll see. Because I think it might be kind of easy. Because this is the way I see it. All right. If you give me the recruits that end up at HBCUs, right? But then, I come in. And for whatever reason, he the king of talk, you know what I'm saying? He come and, hey, he can get a blue chipper here and he can get a top recruit there and this and that. And now, half my team is top tier recruits. They might not be number one, but they top tier, a little far and above the other guys that are there. They had the opportunity to play Division I at Alabama, whereas Alabama never even looked at the rest of these teams. So you give me half of the team that could have potentially started at Alabama and put them against a team where nobody even got looked at by Alabama. I should dominate.
That's not really fair to say either, E.
It is 100% fair to say.
Well, what I'm saying to you is...
Hold on, you're trying to deny that recruiting is exceptionally important in college sports.
And
it is exceptionally important.
I'm sorry. Say it again. You were lagging a little bit.
You are trying, almost seem like you about to try to deny that recruiting is exceptionally important in college sports.
It's the most important thing in college sports.
Right. And so him with his celebrity was able to recruit much better players than the rest of the guys he was playing against.
You only have so many spots on a team. And there's this thing. Look, they won. They went 12-0. They won the championship 3 years in a row. But Deion is a hard worker. Listen, he's one of the men that I respect most when it came down to talking to these brothers in the locker room. He brings a work ethic, not just celebrity. How he handles and looks at life, period, I respect as a grown-ass man. I use him as a father, a locker room father. He's bringing way more than just the game to the table. So yeah, when you got coachable kids, you have a winning organization. It ain't all. I've seen him cut guys that could go play certain places. It ain't about like having the best talent. It's having the hardest. It's about having the hardest workers.
Stop. No,
the hardest workers.
Stop it. That's not true. That is just not true. That is 100% a fallacy.
No, it's not.
Wait a minute. It's not,
bro.
It's not. So you telling me, wait a minute. I just want to make sure I'm clear. So you telling me University of Georgia right now, if they played Alabama State, but Alabama State worked really hard, they could beat them? No, because the talent gap is there.
It's just like this. When they asked Coach Primetime if he was ready to play Nick Saban and them, he was honest. with his team. He said, no, we're not big enough up front. It takes time.
Which
There's
goes
this
to
certain
show
thing-
you that it's not. You just made the argument that talent ain't what matter, work ethic is.
But
And
there's
I'm telling you,
there's a
that's
difference,
not
bro.
true.
You just twisted it all the way up.
That's what you
there's
said.
levels to the game as well.
Oh,
Okay, there's levels.
You
Deion
said it.
Sanders could have the talent to beat Alabama, but he may not have the size. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's two different things.
Well, when you're
Two
talking
different
about the
things.
offensive line, a part of the talent is the size.
Well, okay, you can be as talented as you want, but if somebody got you by 60 pounds, bro, it's hard. Sometimes they're going to outwork you versus your talent being good enough.
No, actually, put it in reverse. Because hear what you said. Hear what you said. You said it don't matter that he had players that was much better than the other players in the league. What it really was about was how hard they worked.
Bro,
But then when I spin it on you,
You're not
you
understanding.
said that. Wyatt, you
Listen,
said that.
bro, I can tell you the Boston Celtics were not the most athletic and best team in the world, but they won more championships because they were worked as a unit and they played their role. Everybody did their job. They worked as a unit.
They were all NBA talent players, though,
but
right?
They wasn't the best players, bro.
But they were
not-
NBA talent players, right?
Okay, but that don't make you the best. Yes, that means you had enough level of talent to get where you are.
So you're talking a difference between he's getting guys, to his credit, he's getting guys that could have gone to play for Alabama.
He didn't get those type of players, bro.
Yes,
You talking about prime time?
Yes.
He recruited one blue chip cornerback who could have
my
went to the
goodness.
big schools. That's what he did.
What did
All
he
the
lie?
rest of
So
those guys,
wait a minute. So what you saying then is Deion is not only a hypocrite, but he's a liar.
That's what you saying. I'm not
Well,
saying that.
Because he said he recruited guys that could have gone to these
That's
bigger
a
schools.
confidence thing, bro. Of course he's gonna say my guys are good enough to play at any level. I
No.
would say that as a coach.
He said, oh, I wish I could find this interview. He said he recruited guys who had offers from these Power 5 schools. Offers. Not just, oh, I think they're good enough, but they had offers, and he recruited them to Jackson State. He said that. So you saying he lied?
No, what I'm saying to you is a lot of those guys get offers, bro. That don't mean you can listen, bro. You know you can get an offer to come to the school as a walk-on. Did you know that? Do you know that just because you get an offer to come to the school don't necessarily mean you got a spot on the team?
But do you know that guys that don't even have any of those offers are probably not as good as the guy who can get an offer to be a walk-on?
See, this is what you don't understand. A lot of those guys go to 2-year colleges. They go to JUCO colleges. They don't get seen. Some of them have maybe a criminal record. Some of them go to real small schools and they playing against less competition, so their numbers are irrelevant. People don't want to give them a shot. Deion went down with his recruiting and got a lot of brothers that could be on this team that are now going to go to these powerhouse schools because of his influence. Look, he already then went to Colorado. Hold on. He went to Colorado and had a meeting in front of these guys and said, everybody here does not have a spot. Yes, I'm bringing my quarterback. And yes, every spot here is available. He also said, I'm bringing 10 dogs with me who hunt. These are 10 guys that didn't have an option. One of them I know for sure could have went pretty much anywhere. But that don't mean he was going to play, because what a lot of people don't understand is just because you great at a high school level don't mean you taking that greatness to to college. It don't mean that. But those other 10 guys, these are guys that are getting the opportunity to play at a higher level than where they were. And what about this?
But
What about
understand why
hold on. What about the coaching staff? What about the black coaches that he's taking? He has 17 coaches. 13 of them confirmed to go with him. 7 of them are black. Don't we talk about black coaches don't get opportunity in big organizations? Here it is.
Okay.
We always talking about they don't get a chance to be on the big scales and the big ESPNs and all that. Here it is.
Well,
so I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, the problem is, I told you what my problem is. He's a hypocrite. That's my problem. Now, look, you can be against racism and not like the fact that somebody's a hypocrite. They don't cancel each other out. Okay. So just like I can say the man's a hypocrite, but I still support him. I mean, I still want him to do well.
Man, Nick Saban and all of them tell them guys they going to come play. They all say that. And then they also make other little commitments to them that just don't pan out.
And I don't like
Dion, look, bro. It's just look, man. It's hard for me to believe, and y'all can call me naive if you want to. It's hard for me to believe that I'm the only one sitting back here saying that this man put a plan out on the table and he made it very clear to everybody what he was going to do. He was never going to be there forever.
That's fine.
He never said he was going to be there forever.
But what I'm telling you is if I tell you, Wyatt, don't take the deal. Don't take the deal. Don't take the deal. And then they offer me the deal and I take the deal and I'm like, hey, bro, you should have took the deal.
So that's what you're saying.
That's what happened. That's what he did.
Okay.
That's what he told those young men.
All right.
Don't take the deal.
Then your point may
don't
be valid
take
if
the
that's
deal.
what he told those guys. I don't know anybody he told that to like that, so I can't really say he did or he didn't. But I will say this. A lot of coaches end up telling them kids, you're going to be my quarterback in the next 2 years or whatever. Okay. Whatever they're going to say, they're going to say. Hey, I got a call. You want to take it?
Yeah.
All right, let's take this call. Hold on 1 second, caller. Good evening, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry about the wait.
Yeah, this is Fame Rothstein, aka Michael Smackson. How y'all doing?
What's good, Fame?
Well, how you doing, Emmanuel?
Hey, I'm doing all right, Fame.
This ought to be good.
Good.
He's a sports guy.
I mean, this is a classic case of two things can be true at the same time.
Yes,
I agree.
You know, Dion fronted. It was clear from the jump that he was fronting about everything. You know, all that being, he wasn't swag. People owe Eddie Robinson Jr. an apology for saying he was hating. The guy wasn't swag. He was clearly there to be a stepping stone, to do what he's doing. But he should have taken the money. He's doing exactly what he should do, and there's nothing wrong with that. As far as say what?
No, I'm sorry, I coughed. That was my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. I mean, Emmanuel, if Lincoln Ware, if that media group down there at the iHeartMedia was told Lincoln Ware, like, look, we're gonna make you the black Bill Cunningham and give you an equal contract, a contract equal to his, Lincoln Ware would have been stepped. He's got more security there and everything. He would have been stepped.
Emmanuel shaking his head like, yeah. You hear me?
What do you say?
I said Emmanuel shaking his head when you said that. He was shaking his head like, yeah, he would have.
Right. So, nobody would have gotten mad at Lincoln. We got civil rights leaders that spend 20 years denouncing the police and then all of a sudden they become cops. People got to do what's best for their family. But the thing that's not being stated is that Dion coaching is simply just the greatest form of daddy ball you've ever seen. Because this is all about putting his son, the quarterback, in the NFL.
Uh-oh. Fame, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for us a minute. You said this is all about him getting his son in the NFL, and then you went out.
This is all about getting his son, Shador, into the NFL as a quarterback when you get the good money. He's the son of Deion Sanders. There's videos of him doing defensive back stuff that Deion did. Many of guys have changed from quarterback, especially black players, Tony Dungy being one of them. Asante Samuel, even what's the dude that's crazy right now? Well, he wasn't a defensive back. Antonio Brown, he was a receiver.
Oh, okay.
He was a quarterback and then went to receiver. There's plenty of examples of Chris Collinsworth, people going from quarterback to other positions. There's plenty of examples of that. And him being the son of Deion Sanders, somebody's going to give him a cup of coffee to be a defensive back just to even try out, just to see if he even has any of those genes. But Deion's making him a quarterback. And he probably, went to the HBCU that would only, that he wouldn't have a problem making his son the starting quarterback from being a freshman. And now he's going to go to where a team has the horrible quarterback. That team was 1-11 last year. Quarterback only He didn't even throw for 1,000 yards. He's the son of a former NFL player. So he transferred up out. Now his son gets to do it on a big stage for draft slotting. Maybe he goes first round, maybe he goes fourth round, maybe he doesn't get drafted. If he doesn't get drafted, he's the son of Deion Sanders. He's going to be fast. We can make him a cornerback.
Yeah.
Like they've been doing for black quarterbacks for years.
Yeah, but Fame, let me
this
ask
is
you
just
this.
this is just daddy ball run amok a little bit. That's all.
But isn't it fair to say that Deion Sanders can't accomplish any of that stuff if he doesn't win? He's still been a champion 3 years in a row in the HBCU league. He still was able to go out and recruit and put a great coaching staff together and put a winning organization together and put respectable kids out on the field. And he brought a different energy to it. And not only that, bro, look at all the money and the publicity and the things that he did for the SWAC. Just look at what he did. The 10 year.
He did more for the SWAC in 3 years than everybody else done in 50 years.
Now, when I
There's
said
no doubt
that,
about
he
that.
didn't believe me, or he said, but
Well,
I would say in my lifetime, he's done more than any of these guys. And I'm talking about not just for the film work of putting in front of somebody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying economically, he's done more. He may not have done anything for Central State. Okay, he may not have done anything for Tuskegee. I'm talking about the groups, and these guys may be in the SWAC. I don't know. I'm talking about the people that he can affect. He affect them in a tremendous way. He did, even if you don't play for his team. He did more for this organization than anybody has in a long time. Eddie George coaches a team. He didn't bring this much to the table. He's just Eddie George over there.
Well, he's not as big of a celebrity. See, I don't know that it's fair to say Deion is better because he's a celebrity and thus he did more. He
Why isn't he?
I never said
No,
that.
you can't say that, Emmanuel, because
him being there. Can I finish? Can I finish?
And Deion's very good at business of showing himself off.
No, I can't. Okay.
And that's what you want out of your college coach, somebody to show the school and program off that will bring us business. With a guy like Deion as your coach, your partnerships are now limitless, as opposed to having Eddie George, who was never just wasn't really out there like that. But you had to be a football guy to know he was a good football player.
But it's fair to say Eddie George was a star, not just in the NFL, but he was a star of Georgia because he played, in Tennessee because he played for Tennessee. So he ended up getting a job at Tennessee, HBCU Tennessee school. So he is a celebrity.
And George went to Ohio State.
No, I'm sorry, Ohio State, but he played in the NFL in Tennessee.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry.
You see what I'm saying? He went to Ohio State, but he became a star, a NFL star in Tennessee for playing.
You can't, in good faith, make the argument that Eddie George was as big of a star as Deion Sanders. You can't make that argument in good faith.
No.
Exactly. So drawing that comparison is just not fair.
No, what we're saying is ex-football players going in to coach HBCUs.
And what I'm saying is a celebrity on the level.
Derek Mason is doing it at Vanderbilt. He was a coach at Vanderbilt for a while. Derek Mason used to play for the Ravens, played at Michigan State. But I want to say this because this is just what I've come to learn about this whole Deion situation. He was drafted in 1989. I was 13 years old. And immediately out the gate, somebody took shots at him. Spike Lee, right? Mm-hmm. Hello?
Yeah, we here. I said, yeah.
Okay. Spike Lee took shots at him. Basically, New York versus Southern type of thing, basically what it was. And as a kid, I was like, man, this dude too militant. Why is he all up on Spike's face? Or why is he all up in Deion's face like that? Because I like the athletes. But as an adult, a father, I'm starting to go towards Spike's side. I started to see why, Deion's he did some unlikable shit. Like I said, two things can be true at the same time. He did what he was supposed to do, but he did it in a very unlikable way in front and just the whole thing.
Yeah, but he was a winner.
He made his own bed. He's got a lie.
Yeah, but he was a winner. It ain't like he went to the HBCUs, made his son a starting quarterback, got his numbers up, and just left the organization in shambles. And just made
He did leave the organization in shambles. How many of those recruits are still gonna be there next year?
You said he did leave it in shambles?
How many of those recruits, how many players are still gonna be there next year?
Well, he's only taken 10 with him.
He's only taken 10.
Yeah.
Would you say those 10 was maybe starters or
So one
in
of them
the
not his own
starter
son.
arena?
Well, wait a minute.
One
Hold
of
on.
them's not his own
Wait a minute.
son.
Hold on. So
Now
now,
he probably can't go because he already used the
hold on.
transfer once. But
so now, wait a minute.
there was
Hold
some
on, guys.
discord. There's some
Hold
discord
on.
between that.
Hold on. Now, I got to make this make sense because he's taking other players away. Does not mean that Jackson State won't be able to recruit well because Deion Sanders is not there. There's always going to be a portal. There's always going to be a position for kids to go to these schools and play. They've been playing there for years without any exposure. If you don't get recruited by Ohio State,
but
or
you
these
just finished
schools,
saying that he left this school, this team in great condition. But rating the team is not leaving them in great condition. It's
say
not.
what? Say that again.
Rating the team is not leaving the team in great condition. I see
Wait a
somebody
minute,
like,
hold on.
but all
Let
coaches
me-
do that. All coaches do that. That don't mean that they leaving the team in great condition.
Let me just say this to you.
If that's your argument, is that well, other coaches do it,
Well,
so
no,
therefore it
that's not
must
my
be
argument,
right.
but other coaches
That's horrible.
do that, but that's not
But
my
that don't
argument.
make it
That's
right.
college football. Fickle is leaving Cincinnati, and he's leaving them. That don't mean Cincinnati's not going to be able to recruit. Okay, it don't mean that they're going to recruit the same way Fickle would have.
How many starters is he taking with him off the
I'm
team?
sorry?
How many starters is he taking with him off
He
the team?
probably will take some with him.
How
I don't
many?
know.
How many?
I don't
10?
know.
10?
I don't know.
You think
it's not been talked about because nobody cares, do
And
they?
I'm just checking. You think it's possible? And I'm asking
Is it
possible.
possible to take
Do you
10?
think it's
Sure.
possible that Luke Fickle, 10 starters from the Bearcats are leaving the Bearcats and
It's
going to
possible.
Wisconsin?
It's possible. They lost
Okay.
9 starters last year to the NFL.
Right.
So it's possible. Yes.
And so okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
So all I'm saying to you is this. He's leaving the organization in a better position than they were 3 years ago. Now that's a dang gone fact because he's brought economics to them. Let me ask anybody who disagrees with this. How many of y'all have ever done anything with an HBC college? Have you? And I'm talking about graduates. I'm not talking about graduates. If you went to an HBCU, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But how many people who are having these conversations right now were looking or watching HBC football in the last 2-3 years? None of us, hardly. None of us.
Well, I
Because
went, so I was.
You were watching HBC football where? On YouTube?
No, I went to Alabama State, bro. So
Well, I'm saying, where were you watching it?
There are portals, yes, on the computer, portals where you can find
So you was following
games.
your school.
I was following a lot of different schools.
Okay. Now I'm not saying that you weren't. I'm saying you were following your school.
No doubt.
Okay. Well, now we all can nationally. Now we're in a position where we can watch HBCU football on ESPN. That wasn't happening 2-3 years ago.
Well, that's not true.
No, okay. The championship games, you can watch a championship SWAC game.
Grambling and Southern was on ESPN. Actually, I think they were on CBS and ABC even at one point.
Yeah, it wasn't a regular thing. Come on, E, be honest, man. There's always going to be the Southern shootouts and stuff like that. When I lived in New Orleans.
You're saying it like though, but see, here's what y'all keep doing, and this is what frustrates me about it. Yes, Deion Sanders did some good things for Jackson State and for the SWAC. Yes. But y'all making it like without Deion, HBCU football didn't exist. It did.
Didn't to a lot of people. It did.
But it existed. It still don't for a lot of people. It existed.
I can guarantee
people
you right now.
People supported
brother,
it. People go to those games. People pay their money. People pay for luxury boxes. Without Deion, they was doing it. Before
let me tell you
Deion,
something.
they'll be doing it after
said it
Deion.
himself. He said it himself. He said the reason why I'm SWAC is because every team we play and wherever we go, including home games, we sell them out. They wasn't selling. Remember that coach that got into it with him in the middle of the field when he got mad because he said he was SWAC?
Because he wasn't.
Now, look, let me be honest with you and say this so I can be clear. I'm a fan of Deion Sanders, the player, because he's in my generation. He's one of the only players to play in an NFL Super Bowl and a World Series. He's one of the only few players that's ever played professional baseball and football in the same year. That's highly, highly respectable. Okay?
Absolutely. Which is why it's not fair to compare him to Eddie George. But go ahead.
No, you're right on celebrity. But here's this. Keep in mind, Eddie George is a Hall of Famer. Okay, so don't slack on him. He is a Hall of Famer. Okay,
But
don't say
again,
that
he's
just
not.
some
He's
regular
clearly
running
not
back.
on the
He's a Hall
level
of
of
Fame running back.
Deion Sanders in terms of celebrity.
But I'm just saying, you cannot say Eddie George is just some slouch. He is a Hall of Famer, and he has yards at Ohio
We're,
State.
we're
He's
talking
respectable.
about level of celebrity.
Right.
Right.
Celebrity,
So
yeah.
so you can't even put him in the same category with Deion.
Well, no, they're not in the same level, but I'm just saying, don't slip on Eddie George's accomplishments as a football player. He's a Hall of Famer, so he's worldly known. Okay, he may not have must be the money videos and rocking all gold chains and all that stuff, but he's highly respected in the NFL for being a Hall of Famer. And that is great for recruiting these young kids that they go knock on their doors. All of that stuff counts. Okay, but now let me just say this. I want to get to something that might get to your point a little bit. I'm a fan of Deion Sanders, the cornerback, the kickoff specialist, the center fielder, the leadoff hitter. I'm a fan of that. But Deion rubbed me the wrong way as a coach, even though he won. I'm not a fan of making it about me, walking out, dancing. I didn't like all of that. Okay, I didn't like all of that. But what I got to respect is what he brought economically to the HBCU scene. What he said and what he did is what he followed. He didn't do anything outside of what he said he was going to do. He never made a commitment of being there forever. He said, this is somewhere that I'm going to be. If a powerhouse team ever, if the top 5 powerhouse teams ever come to me, I will entertain those jobs. Yes, that's always been in his conversation. He's never said I'm gonna be here like Mr. Robertson. I'm gonna die on this field out here. He's never said that. He never said that. He said when opportunity knocks, I'm going where God tells me to go. That's exactly what he's been saying.
Okay, but what he did was he told those other kids, "Don't do it. I'm gonna do it, but you don't do it." And that's what I have the problem with.
Bro, every one of them players that play for him love playing for him, number one. And if they decided to go to a different school, he didn't get every kid that he was recruiting. Some of them chose to go to Alabama. Some of them chose to go to Florida State. Some of them chose to go to those other schools.
Why? You can't have it both ways.
What
you
can't
have it both
about?
ways. 1 minute, you say he never even tried to recruit kids that had offers from Alabama and Florida State.
Kids. I never said that he didn't try to recruit
kids. When I said it turned into a big debate right here a few minutes ago.
What did you say that made me say he didn't try to recruit kids?
I said he recruited kids who had offers from all of these other big schools. And you said, no, he only did one.
I said he got one.
He got more than one.
Oh my God! Give me some names. I could tell you the
I don't know they names.
So what you
tell me? Wait a minute.
Then?
Hold on. So wait. I just want to be clear on what you're saying because you keep changing it. So let's be clear on what you're saying. You're saying Deion Sanders. Huh?
I said if you don't know the name, at least give me a position that they played that he got. Instead of Ohio State getting them.
You saying Deion Sanders only recruited or effectively recruited got one recruit that had any offer at any Power 5 schools. He only had one. None of the other players on Jackson State University that Deion Sanders recruited had any offers from any Power 5 schools. Is that what you're saying?
I tried to explain to you before because you get a power. I'm answering your question, bro. It just comes with I just got to explain it because a simple yes or no can't answer it.
It could.
No, because look, here's the thing. If you get an offer from a Big Ten school, let's say that a Big Ten school offers you an opportunity to come to the school to play. It don't mean you gonna play.
Wyatt, that wasn't the question. See, you trying to put a lot of stuff in there. You got some raisins in the potato salad and some peas in the potato salad. The question is, it's a simple question. I do get it.
Because I
get it 100%.
Offer to go to Ohio State can get snatched by D. So let me put it in a case. Let me try to put it in a case.
You
scenario
could just answer the question.
So a kid that gets a letter from Ohio State, who has an opportunity to go to Ohio State, if Deion Sanders goes and talks to him and convincing him to go to Jackson State, that he snatched that kid from Ohio State just because he used the culture. You saying that's what he did?
Hold on, you actually want me to answer a question before you answer the question that I asked you?
Oh yeah, I kind of do. I kind of do because it'll make sense to what you're trying to say. Hey, I got a call. Let's take this call, okay? And then I'll try to answer your question better. I can't say it no better than what I'm saying it though, brother. Good evening.
I can't say it no better than what
Welcome
I'm
to the King
saying.
and I. Who we talking
What's
to?
up? What's up, E-Man?
Hey, what's up?
Also known as the King. What up, Wyatt?
What up, though?
Hey, shout out to the King and I podcast. Finally going at each other. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I see you smirking over there, E-Man. This is what I
I'm
like.
happy.
I like confrontation because, shout out to the last caller, Fane Rothstein, owner, operator of the Betting Public Sports Show. He's correct. Two things can be right at the same time. But real quick, E-Man, you do not know a lot about college football in 2022 because there's a thing now called name, image, and likeness.
I didn't know that.
The 5-star recruit that Deion Sanders was able to recruit, Travis Hunter, number 12, for Jackson State University.
There he is.
He's also one of the dogs that's going with Deion to the University of Colorado. Now, E-Man and Wyatt, because of the new NCAA rule, which was instated last year, name, image, and likeness
there you go.
allows these Black athletes to not be slave or to be held hostage by these Power 5 programs like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, because of the money that they can get from boosters. Deion Sanders is showing right now what he did at Jackson State University in just 2.5 years by pulling a 5-star recruit, African-American young man, proved to the rest of NCAA football scholarship athletes or potential athletes that they could go anywhere in America and use the name, image, and likeness to buy their mama a house, whether they make it to the NFL or not. Because remember, E-Man, because of this rule, name, image, and likeness, you can come out of high school.
I never heard of that.
And earn 6 figures, like Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback, number 2 for Jackson State University, who's also one of those dogs that will be playing at Colorado next season. This man is worth an estimated $2 million because of the endorsements that he does on TV with his father.
With who?
In 2022,
with the big time celebrity
Deion Sanders is the type of coach that these athletes need so they can maximize their earning potential.
So listen, I see Mary Myers is on. She says something. I want to read this because I wasn't quite sure about
right.
the split.
I didn't know about the transfer portal.
The transfer portal.
Hey, you gonna explain to me? Hey, can you, since you explained to me the name, image, likeness, and I had never heard of that before, can you explain to me what transferring is? They got this thing, I heard of it, transfer portal. Please explain that to me because I never heard of that before until somebody just typed it.
Example,
actually,
E-Man.
that starts today.
Okay, E-Man, I'll give you an example. The head coach this season for USC Trojans was Lincoln Riley. He came from University of Oklahoma, okay? Because of the new name, image, and likeness.
Transfer portal, bro. That's what you're supposed to be explaining.
Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams, who is now the starting quarterback and Heisman candidate for USC, entered the transfer portal.
What is a transfer portal? Hold on. What is the
USC job? So
can they hear me?
Deion, Coach Tom,
they can't hear me
doing right now is
I need him to explain what the transfer portal
what
is.
Lincoln Riley did last season.
Can you tell him that for me, Wyatt?
Say it again, E. Sorry, hold on one second.
I said he used the words. Can you explain? Because I've never heard of this. What is a transfer portal?
Okay, what it is, E-Man, In the past, before this new rule, a recruit had to sit out an entire season
Right.
in order to transfer. So, and you definitely couldn't transfer your senior season. So now what the transfer portal basically is, E-Man, it is called college athlete free agency. That's what it is. I see you laughing, bro. I'm watching you laugh, E-Man. But it's not that I'm trying to insult your intelligence.
Of course you are. When you
it's not-
say
it's not your fault
I
that
don't
you
know what a
know
name,
about
image,
the
likeness
name, image,
is,
and likeness
and I don't,
the
you know,
role
all that kind
it
of stuff. That's
plays
exactly
with
what
a
you're trying to
coach-
do. You're
with a
attempting
coach like
to
Deion
insult my
Sanders.
intelligence. And if you're going to insult my intelligence, then I just want you to go all the way. Can you explain to me now, what is a first down? I've never heard of that. What's a first down? I keep hearing football
All right,
players
let's get
talk
back
about
on track.
first
Y'all
down.
tripping.
Okay,
Y'all
well,
tripping.
hey, Wyatt, E-Man, I see what he's doing, but I just want to say a couple of things, and then I'm gonna hang up because I think this topic is very interesting within the Black community because it kind of relates to that crabs in the barrel thing. But real quick, Eddie George is a head coach at a HBCU. Hugh Jackson, former NFL coach, is a head coach at HBCU. The son of Eddie Robinson Jr., former NFL player, had a long NFL career, is a head coach at a HBCU. Shiloh Sanders is Deion's son. He plays defensive back. He transferred from another school when his dad got the job. And last but not least, HBCUs, Jackson State University, Jackson, Mississippi, are all better off now than they were before Coach Prime became SWAC. Thank you for taking my call, King and I. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Step your NCAA college football knowledge up, E-Man. But good show, guys.
If you explain to me what a first down is, I think I'll know it all.
Y'all crazy. All I'm saying to you is this: Deion Sanders did more for the organization, not just Jackson State. He brought the sport, not necessarily brought it alive, but there's a lot more people paying attention to HBCU football than there were in the last few years. They've sold out more games.
That's true. No one's arguing that. No one's arguing that. See, here's what's happening. Here's what's happening from my perspective. What's happening is I think Deion Sanders was hypocritical. He got a right to be. But I think what he did were the actions of a hypocrite. Okay? You tell people, don't go there. Don't go there. And then when they give you the opportunity, you go there. And that's fine. If I'm in his position, I'm doing the same thing. But the issue is, people are such celebrity whores that they can't accept, like people keep saying, two things can be true at one time. He can have done great things for the SWAC and for Jackson State and be a hypocrite. But because, I'm a celebrity whore, how dare you gonna say my guy is a hypocrite? Instead of just acknowledging, well, yeah, that was a little hypocritical.
Suggesting that he may not have made some promises that may not have come through, but because that happens in the world of sports anyway. Coaches, like for instance, a lot of these coaches, I find it to be bad that they can sign a 5-year, 6-year deal, extend it out in year 4, another 4 years, and then the next year they go take a powerhouse job. That happens in the world of sports all the time. And what about the kids that you're recruiting? I mean, it happens at every level. I think it's wrong for us to be as super critical to Deion Sanders because he may have done the same thing, but he didn't do it in severity. He didn't sign an extended contract.
But see, here's the difference. Here's the difference, Wyatt, with me. You know why I didn't like Notre Dame before this year?
Why?
I didn't support Notre Dame because I didn't like the way Brian Kelly lied to those kids and told them he wasn't leaving. And then basically on the eve of their bowl game, got announced as Notre Dame's head coach. I didn't like that. I thought that was horrible of him to do. So as long as he was at Notre Dame, I could not support Notre Dame. Guess why I don't support LSU now? Because Brian Kelly is still there.
And LSU
and I don't support. So for me, I am just as critical of the white guy who does something that I don't like as the black guy. The only difference is when I go on and post that I don't support Brian Kelly, people say, well, I don't agree with you. I mean, whatever is business. But, I understand that position. When I go on and I criticize Dion, oh, no, not Dion. Oh, no, he prime. Oh, no, he did this. Oh, he made all HBCUs better. Oh, he's the best thing ever. He's Jesus. He's just Jesus with gold teeth. Oh, it's crazy.
I don't think anybody's really defending him like that. I'll be honest. I haven't heard him going that hard like that. But I'm not on the gram or all that like that. But let me just say this to you. If you really want to compare Deion Sanders to like a what's his name? What's the Kelly guy? What's his first name? Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly, who's made all these moves into bigger and better jobs each time.
Hold on, Jason.
I can honestly say that he went from conference USA. He went to all these different conferences and ended up in the SEC. And I can say he's never done anything for any of those conferences like what Deion Sanders has done for the conference of HBCU football.
Of course he has.
You think so?
Hold on, you don't think that there was oh my God, Brian Kelly was here coaching the Cincinnati Bearcats and took them, what were they, like 12-0, or did they end up losing the game and took them to
Papa John Bowl?
Hold on, but you don't think Cincinnati playoffs? Hold on, and how many bowl games did Deion Sanders take Jackson State to?
Well,
taking them to a bowl game is getting them a lot. Exactly. So he got them he got Cincinnati a whole lot of attention that Cincinnati and what were they, Conference USA at the time, would not have gotten had Cincinnati not been as good as Cincinnati was.
6-6 is what you need to be in a bowl game. You're not knocking ice cream off a cake. You're not the best team in the world. Every team has to finish at an even record.
He didn't end up 6-6.
No, I'm saying in general, you can't use bowl games as a level of success. Because
when
it's
Brian,
not like you're in the playoffs.
You're not being fair. When Brian Kelly was here, I don't like the dude, but when Brian Kelly was here, Cincinnati was before Fickle. Cincinnati was in the conversation of going to the college football playoffs. They didn't get in, but they were in the conversation. So to say, when was the last time, before Brian Kelly got here, when was the University of Cincinnati Bearcats in the conversation for an opportunity at a national title in the NCAA? They weren't.
They weren't when Brian Kelly was here.
Yes, they were. They were in the conversation.
That was Luke Fickell, bro. What are you talking about?
No, that was Brian Kelly. They were in the conversation. Brian Kelly
ain't never get them to the Final Four of a playoff.
I didn't say he got them in, but there was a discussion about, are the Bearcats, do they qualify
when
to
was the last
be
time
there?
The Bearcats had a great organization, a great football organization before Fickell got here 6 years ago.
When Brian Kelly was here?
Okay, he got them to bowl games. He was never in the talk of national championships.
Yes, he was in the talk. They didn't. His last year, he was in the conversation. The year before that, he was in the conversation.
I don't remember that.
Hold on. You misunderstanding making the college football playoffs with being in the conversation.
The same thing to me.
They were top 10. They were a top 10 team under Brian Kelly.
Let me just say this to you. The difference between a Brian Kelly and a Deion Sanders is this. Deion Sanders made more of a splash for the entire organization, the conference, than Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's not responsible for making everybody successful or give them an exposure in that conference that he's in with UC.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Sanders got ESPN involved, bigger sponsors, got what Under Armour, as you can see, Under Armour involved. He brought a lot of economics to HBCU football.
You're right. He's
you can't say I
got a call. You want to take Jason?
I couldn't hear anything Wyatt was saying. You put me on hold. I could hear you. I couldn't hear Wyatt. Was I supposed to hear somebody else?
Yeah, but I'm still working out a kink or two over here.
Brian Kelly was a good coach.
Don't put Coach Prime in the same sentence as Brian Kelly.
Why not?
He left, but he he left on good terms. He didn't say, "Oh, we got a bowl game. I'm out. I ain't even going for the bowl game." He at least, trying to do the best he could in the
No, he
situation.
didn't.
Like,
He was a hypocrite and he left and he's rating the team, and
So-
that's okay. But he did
Deion
basically the
Sanders
same
going
thing.
back to coach his team for their championship game.
I barely can hear it. But
He said Deion Sanders is Jesus. But go ahead. What's your point?
Oh my God.
Go ahead. What's your point, Jason?
now I kind of feel bullied. Like, I just called getting a mixie. I feel like you don't want me to look. Coach Prime, he going to this so-called white school, and maybe he gonna turn it to a black school. How you know they ain't gonna turn up for him? And I get the whole, come to the HBCUs, you don't have to go to the big schools. But in the long run, with that transfer portal, it don't matter where you start off. You can jump to wherever you want. Ask UC. They main cornerback, who is supposed to be their top prize, is out of there. So you could go to Jackson State and dip 2 years. Or wait, I don't know because I don't really follow their football. What division are they in? Is it D1, 1AA, D2?
FCS. I
That's
believe.
not helpful.
Hold on. No, I don't know that they're FCS.
Who are you talking about?
He talking about Jackson State. Are they FCS?
He's talking about what division, if they're Division 1 or Division 2.
Like, are they
Yeah.
1AA?
See what I'm saying?
1A?
Their division. Y'all, I'm echoing real bad.
Go ahead. Wyatt.
I think he's asking if they're a Division 1, Division 2, or 1AA or something like that. I think he's asking the level of competitiveness.
Right, that's what he's asking.
And all I can say to you is this: they're Division 1, okay? But his son and them guys, I can't think of a recruit. Excuse me, I shouldn't say a recruit. I can't think of a kid coming out of an HBCU college, except in 2020, there was a kid that was drafted in the NFL, and that's been the last one. And before him, it was 25 years before that. So just because they're a Division 1 team doesn't mean that they're getting the same eyeballs on them. And that's one of the arguments that Deion Sanders had about why he supported HBCUs so heavily. But he didn't really. I'm sorry?
But he didn't really.
But yes, he did. He got him. Look, bro, it is not small potatoes to get a $30 million 10-year contract with ESPN. That's getting eyeballs on kids, even though Deion won't be there. Those other kids still have opportunity. The other coaches have opportunity. Somebody's going to have to fill that coaching spot of Deion Sanders. That's opportunity. Deion Sanders left a whole lot of opportunity there for people. Y'all might not see that.
There's opportunity everywhere.
Say what?
It's opportunity everywhere.
And he's taking opportunity to Colorado with him.
He's definitely doing that.
He's taking opportunity.
He taking the starting squad from Jackson State. He taking them to Colorado. And if they do well, that actually doesn't speak very well of his coaching prowess at Jackson State. And that was my only point about that, was you take these guys who play on the level that they can play in a Power 5 conference, and then you put them in the FCS against the SWAC, and then you dominate them, and you like, yeah, we dominated them. Well, give me the 9th grade team and give me some 7th graders, and I dominate them and be like, I'm the best coach ever. No, bruh, you play with the 9th graders against the 7th graders.
I'm pretty sure he didn't have 4 or 5 star recruits.
Cut him up some, E. I can't hear him.
Of each, but
Wait,
I'm pretty sure he didn't.
So you hold on. So you
cut him up?
Wait. So you believe? I'm sorry. So you believe that he's taken 10 guys with him that can't play on that level? That's what you believe?
No. I'm saying that they're not. He didn't get 4 or 5 star recruits. UC can't even pull off that.
Hold on. I'm asking.
3 and 4.
No, but what I'm asking is a simple question. Why do y'all never like to answer simple questions? I'm asking a simple question.
You're being very argumentative.
No, these are simple questions that y'all don't want to answer because y'all don't like to answer. Are you telling me he's taken 10 guys with him to Colorado? So you're telling me that he's only taken only 2 of those guys he believes can play on the Power 5 level. The other ones are just kind of pity taken? No.
I'll answer your question.
Yeah,
He's
please.
taking people that can play on the level, but what I said was he didn't have 10, 5, and 4-star recruits he's taking with him. That's a totally different thing. So the answer to your
Exactly.
question
He's
is
right.
yes, they can play on that level, but no, they were not 4 or 5-star recruits.
And
Exactly. He's right.
But
Hold on,
there's
and
no way you're going to tell me he was pulling like that down there.
what I'm telling you is that he had guys who could easily play, which he's showing it to you. He's taking 10 of them with him that could play with the Power 5 guys.
No. He built them kids.
Oh my goodness. So again, to answer the question, so Wyatt, you believe he's not taking 10 guys who he believes can play in the conference that he's about to put them in.
Let me say this. He is taking 10 kids. I'm answering it. Calm down. He's taking 10 kids that he believes, he even announced them as being dogs. He taking 10 kids that hunt and they dogs. But E-Man, like everybody knows at a D1 school, you can be great and it may not work out. They may not be. He already made the announcement to the kids at Colorado. He said, y'all here now, but you might not be here by the summer. Those are kids that was recruited that they felt like was A1, D1 players. Look, man, it happens all the time in sports. Them kids could be sent home, even the ones he taking with him.
Okay.
They got to earn them spots.
Oh my goodness.
It might be somebody up at Colorado who ain't trying to give up their spot.
Brent says Deion recruited 8 4-star and 5-star recruits. And I bet every single one of them are going with him to Colorado. Now, Wyatt, you're saying if he recruited 8 4 and 5-star recruits, you're saying that didn't happen. That's a lie.
I'm saying that they don't necessarily have to be successful because they were recruited. That don't make you successful because you got recruited as a 4-star, 5-star, whatever star you are, you still got to go to work. You still got to go there.
Well, we all know that. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. We know that.
That don't mean they're going to be successcersful.
Well, there's no guarantee anybody's going to be successful. But there's a reason. But Wyatt, there's a reason. There's a reason why they go after 5-star recruits. There's no guarantee that they're going to be successful. But there's a really good chance that they might be. Right?
Man,
do you agree with that?
How many of them guys go home? You'll be surprised. You would be surprised how many guys get there and they were not highly recruited and they end up starters.
So you think that maybe coaches shouldn't be recruiting 5-star recruits?
No, I'm not saying that. It's like
why? Hold on.
else.
Why?
Let me ask you this.
We got to walk this down.
How many number one quarterbacks actually? How many number one draft picks in the NFL draft actually work out to be stars in the NFL?
I don't have the number. How many?
But it's not that successful. All guys that are recruited in the top 5 are not always successful at the NFL level. It's the same way in college. Because you're a 4-star general or recruit, just because you're a 4-star recruit don't mean you're going to go to the next level and be that good. It don't mean that.
Why? Can we be honest with each other?
Absolutely.
Okay. There's a reason why coaches go after top recruits.
Yes.
Right? Now, I need to walk it down slowly because you keep trying to spin me. So there's a reason. There's a reason.
Hold on. Let me make sure I got everything right because that shit sound like I'm the spin doctor.
You are spinning.
King of spin.
You are spinning me.
Huh?
You are trying to spin me, which is why we need to walk it down slowly.
What?
Let's go on a basis of understanding. So we agree that all of these stars make a difference in terms of the potential that people think that people have. A 5-star recruit, people look at them and say he probably has more potential than a 4-star recruit. A 3-star recruit, they say, well, that 4-star recruit probably got more potential than the 3-star, and so on and so forth. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Coaches, if a coach could, they would get all of the 5-star recruits that they can. Do we agree with that?
Yep.
Now, why do you think they want the 5-star recruits?
Because they have a better chance at being successful based on what they did at a certain level.
Okay. So if I go out and I recruit 8 5 and 4-star recruits, and I'm just accepting Brent's numbers, it may or may not be 100% accurate, but I typically find Brent to give good information. So if I go and I got 8 5 and 4-star recruits, there's a good chance that my squad might be better than the squad with no star recruits. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's called winning on paper.
Okay. And so then, because the talent level is so much greater with my 5 and 4-star recruits than your 0-star recruits, and I come out and I win every week against teams with 0-star recruits, that still makes me an amazing coach, right?
Look, man, you basically saying if you have more talent on paper, you should be winning.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe so, but I'll take a harder workforce. I'll take kids that really want to play. I'll take kids that really want to commit themselves to excellence, and I'll beat you all day long, unless you just got me outsized. There's plenty of people in this world that are that are highly talented but don't have work ethic.
That's true.
They just don't have it.
That's
and
true.
they lose. I've seen guys walk off. Now, this is a true story. I think it was last year. I watched the highly recruited defensive tackle for Ohio State wave at the crowd and walk off the field because he was not coachable. That kid could play anywhere, but he walked off the field and he quit on that team right in the middle of a game.
And so the point that you're making is, and it's a question, but I want to know in terms of your assertion. It sounds to me like the point that you're making is, if I give WYATT a team, nothing but 5-star recruits, and you give me dudes that had no offers nowhere and just walked on, but they work real hard. They undersized, but they hard workers. They not fast, but they hard workers. They not tall,
You just gonna
but
keep
they
on
hard.
breaking down my team not being that.
My team is the hard workers. They're not fast. They're not strong. They're not tall. They're not that. But you telling me they work hard? WYATT's team, I should smash y'all, right?
No, not necessarily, E, but not all talent is coachable either. So you can't say just because a team has a bunch of talent on it that they're going to beat everybody.
But
some people they're not coachable.
But now let's put this into perspective of what we're actually talking about. Deion Sanders with 8 5 and 4-star recruits played against the SWAC. He's about to take the core of that team, those 8 recruits, to Colorado and play against, what's that, the Pac-12? And play against the Pac-12. And he believes that those guys are good enough on every level to play with those guys. So why are we surprised that he went undefeated in the SWAC? And why is it he's the greatest coach ever now? Because he went undefeated in the SWAC.
I don't think anybody other than Colorado called him the greatest coach ever. I've never called him the greatest coach. I don't know.
You ain't been looking at the comments. You ain't been looking at the comments. Look, I'm all over the message. I was on Yahoo, on the message boards on some of these stories. I'll be on Facebook. I'm all over the place on message boards, right? I'm telling you, because you keep saying, ain't nobody saying this. Ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody saying this. Yes, people are saying all of this stuff that I'm saying and more.
Well, I got to be realistic in my arguments. It's very clear to me that Deion Sanders is not the best coach in college football. He hasn't done enough. He's done it at a certain level, so it's not even fair to say that he's the best coach. But I don't think that's ever been part of the argument that I've been part of. My argument has always been, I have no problem with him going off to Colorado. He made no commitment to HBCU, to Jackson State past what he's doing. He changed. He has not left them. And you say that he left them in bad situations, and I say no, he hasn't. The exposure, the championships, the exposures, and everything that he's done for that conference of football has put them in a better situation than they were in 5 years ago. the last 10 years, the last 15 years, the last 20 years. They haven't
Possibly.
seen anything that Deion Sanders has brought to that organization. They haven't been selling out stadiums. And to be honest with you, E, most of the time, and I know I'm gonna get some hate for saying this shit, but this is based on my experience. Most people don't even go to them damn football games for the football game. They go for the halftime show. And it's been like that for many years because of the Battle of the Bands. I used to go watch, when I lived in New Orleans, I used to go watch Southern and Grambling go at it in the Superdome every year during the halftime show. The Battle of the Drums, the Battle of the Dance teams, it was just the baddest.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bands. Yeah.
Ever.
And that's another issue that some of them had with Deion, is that he didn't respect the culture. He didn't have any respect for the culture and traditions of those HBCUs.
Maybe not. Then don't accept anything that he brings.
Well,
Okay, don't accept any
ridiculous.
of the perks that he brings to the table.
That's ridiculous. So hold
Okay.
on. So wait a minute. So how does that look? I coach Alabama State. Deion Sanders doesn't respect the traditions of HBCUs, so I don't accept. So no, your team can't come and play at Alabama State. No, my team won't go to Jackson State and play. That doesn't make sense.
No. I don't mean it like that. I'm talking about the benefits. It's like, for instance, when you set the schedules at the beginning of the year, there's certain teams that you want to play for the exposure. And then there are certain teams that you play just because there are rivalries. Well, some people, I understand he rubbed people the wrong way, like that coach that they had that little fallout at the middle of the field. Like, I'm not a Deion Sanders fan when it comes down to certain things. I think his confidence brings a lot of people's insecurities to a high level. And that makes him, unapproachable. It makes him an ass to some people. But you got to be that sometimes. Certain personalities have to be that to be successful. They don't know how to channel it any other kind of way.
Okay.
And it rubs some people the wrong way. I get it. It's not favorable. But at the same time, bro, he brought a lot to the table by being as good as he was at what he do. Hold
on, but you look, you keep saying that. And every time you say it, I say, you're right. So I don't know, but look, we go back to the very beginning of the show. I said, I think the man was a hypocrite. Okay? I think the man was a hypocrite. I support him. I wish him luck. I would love to see him win a national title. I don't know how much more support you can, y'all want me to lick his balls. I support the man. I hope he wins a national title. And I wish nothing but the best for him. But he was a hypocrite. And almost 2 hours later, that's not good enough. Now I'm a hater because I think he was a hypocrite.
I never called you a hater.
I'm looking at the comments as well. I'm a hater.
Look, people gonna say what they're gonna say.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that's not the point that I'm making.
You're not a hater. You just have a different perspective about it.
The point that I'm
like
making is
getting out of pocket with the lick ball thing. I don't know where that came from, bro. Damn, Slick Rick.
Because that's how a lot of these guys are out here rolling now. Like these, not just Deion, these celebrities can do no wrong. You got the LeBron sexuals, who LeBron can do no matter how wrong LeBron is. If you say, I didn't agree with LeBron on that, you a hater. Get off his nuts. Like, he can be wrong. If you know what I'm saying? Kanye, he doing swastikas in the middle of the Star of David. He this and he that. You can't say nothing bad about him. Get off his jock.
Okay, let me say this about something that you said, though.
People can disagree with celebrities.
Let me say something about what you said when you say the word hypocrite. Is it fair to say that if he recruited 4- and 5-star players and had them come play with him instead of going to Florida or Ohio State or whatever, is it fair to say that he lived up to what he said he was going to do for those guys if he take them to Colorado with him and put them in a big Pac-12 and put them out in national television, put them in bigger and better arenas, put them in a better position? Is it fair to say that he lived up to do what he said he was going to do?
No.
Okay.
Here's why I say it's not fair to say that. Because he said he would do it for the culture, for the HBCU system. And he
did nothing for them. Let me just ask you that.
Did he do something? Yeah, of course he did something for him. But what he did was Basically, he pimped them. He used them as a stepping stone. And that I'm not even necessarily against that. But again, my thing is you don't tell people not to take an opportunity that if it was presented to you or when it's presented to you, you gonna jump at it.
But you know what, E? I agree with that to a certain extent, but let me just say this to you. It's not like he only had one opportunity. Deion could have left last year, and he also could have chose different schools. University of Cincinnati was an option as well. I'm wondering if the same people that's talking all this shit now from Cincinnati would be feeling this same way if he would have chose to take the Bearcat job. Would they be feeling like, oh, he left HBCUs. We don't really want him here. No. I bet you they wouldn't be saying that right now.
Now, again, I wouldn't be saying I don't want him here. I would still be supporting him, hoping he win a national championship. But I would be saying he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite.
I don't see that as being a hypocrite when you accomplish so much, bro. It's almost like saying, look, I am going to change this program. And look, man, let me tell you what he did that takes him out of that barrel for me.
All right.
The man brought economics to the entire SWAC. More importantly, he treated these young men like a father figure. He gave them way more than what some of them are used to. He gave them way more than what most coaches would give them when it came down to personal. And let me just say the most thing that he did.
That's I don't know that to be true. I wasn't there.
I know that to be true because I have all the videos of the locker room. And let me show you what proves what I'm saying.
Well, if he knew he was being recorded, then
he's I'm about to give you the grand finale of how I know. Okay, the grand finale is the man graduated 90% of his players. Okay, that's more important than anything that we're assuming. The numbers don't lie. 90% of his players he graduated them.
So he get credit for grad. They don't get no credit for that, right?
Wait a minute. Okay, so if they all dropping out of school, they'd be looking at him, right? So yeah, when they graduate, he gets credit for that.
I'd be looking at them like y'all dropping out.
No.
But I understand that's not the way. I understand that's not the way other people do it. I'm just talking about me. I'm a little different. I think most people know that.
I'm just saying, bro, to graduate 90% of your players, African-American little men, little boys, little guys, grown young men, that is an achievement within itself because he made sure they didn't bring certain elements to his team. He made sure they were successful after football. He made sure they understood there's more to life than football, but you're going to be football when you hear. But there's more to life than just football. And that right there, man, says a lot about his character. And yeah, you could say he was being hypocritical and all that.
He was.
The trail of success that he left for those people.
You can be successful. Hold on. You can be successful and be a hypocrite. How is that hard to understand? You can be successful. He could have given them $800 billion and still be a hypocrite.
Isn't it fair to say when you use the word hypocrite that it's like a demeaning type of way of making it sound like he lied and he cheated them or something like that?
No, to me, it's saying you say one thing and you do another.
Okay, let me just say this to you. Like I told you before, he never committed to Jackson State or any other HBC college that he was going to be there forever. Everybody knew that he had another level that he was going to. Nobody said that he was going to be there.
Don't tell these kids you doing this for the culture. You doing this for a stepping stone.
Wait a minute. But bro, when you there, okay, let's just say that you take a job. You take a job working somewhere, and when you get there, you realize it's bigger work to be done other than just your job. Now you got influence of people that you can work with. You can make, let's say you go there and you got men that's there that don't take care of their kids, and you find out, hey man, that ain't cool. And then they latch onto you, and you now teaching them a little bit more about manhood, and you stepping into a position that they never had in their life. And now, since you took a bigger and better job, you feel like you letting them down, but you're not a hypocrite because you chose to help them do something over and beyond what you really there for.
The fact that bigger and better in his world mean white is a problem.
That's your world.
No, that's his world. That's his world.
That's crazy to me.
That's his world.
Oh my God.
That's his world.
Don't put race in this, bro. Because he was at an HBCU. Now you want to see, you know what?
Wait,
bro, don't do that.
Hold on. You can't. So you don't believe race plays a factor?
In what? His decision?
Yes.
Explain to me why race makes a decision on where he's at in Colorado. You think
The fact that he used race to get those recruits to where they were. He used racial pride to get those recruits to where they were. And now he's using his pocketbook to take them to where he told them not to go. It's problematic. It's hypocritical. It's not illegal. It's not, you know what I'm saying, criminal or he shouldn't go to hell for it, but it is hypocritical. And race
I can tell you this
was
for sure.
definitely
I
a
can
factor.
tell you this for sure. Deion didn't get half of the recruits that he wanted. Most of the kids that he was going after that had D1 scholarship offers went off to Memphis University, went off to Louisville, went off to all these big tier schools. He didn't get half the kids that he wanted. So they made the choice of following him to
They did. That don't mean he wasn't a hypocrite.
Well, all I'm saying to you is this, brother. They still look, there's more. Will we agree or disagree on this? Did he do more for the program and for the whole SWAC situation? Did he do more for them than he failed? Did he accomplish more or did he fail them?
I think he accomplished a whole lot for Jackson State. Can I
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think he accomplished a whole lot for Jackson State, and he accomplished stuff for the SWAC, no doubt. But do you see how I did that, Wyatt? Like, I actually answered the question with giving him credit where credit is due, and that don't mean that he ain't still a hypocrite for the decision that he made. They can both be
but
true.
You know what? For some odd reason, I'm allowing you to tip the scale of the negative word of what you feel he did, which was be a hypocrite, to outweigh, and that's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not a listener's fault. It's nobody's fault but mine that I'm allowing you to use one word, which is negative, to outweigh so much good this man did. So I apologize to the listeners and everybody. I shouldn't even let it get to that. I should just be talking about what I feel like he's accomplished instead of focusing in on what he did wrong. So I'm going to say this.
And yeah, and I was agreeing with you on almost everything you said he accomplished.
Stuff for them to work with. Not only, look, he was making $300,000 at the HBCU at Jackson State. He was making $300,000. Now he's going to make $5 million. His coaching staff that he's taking with him, none of them made over $100,000, and now they're all making head coach money, HBCU head coaching money, and now on the radar of Big Ten school, big programs. Now they're in that circle because we always talk about how blacks can't get coaching jobs. Well, now we got a whole nother rotation of blacks that are going to be out there that can potentially get Big Ten school coaching jobs.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
You had a call? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was CK. He hung up. Hopefully,
I'm Team CK. Damn.
Hopefully he'll call back. Sometime this week we got to get together so I can get my settings right on this side, so that when the callers call in, you ain't echoing all crazy. I gotta get the settings right for this. But yeah, I don't understand what people want. The truth is the truth. Okay. I reject that,
Lexa,
he's the best thing to ever happen to HBCUs, and he did more for anybody in the history of HBCUs. I reject that, he saved all HBCUs and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying Wyatt said this, but this has been said. I reject that. But the man did a lot. And, he did. I just think
he did a lot more for HBCUs than I've been able to see in my lifetime. And I've been going to the games. Let me just say this. I would challenge anyone. When was the last time you watched? Not you. You said you told me. When was the last time anybody even watched an HBCU game? I just watched one the other day. I watched Jackson State. And let me ask you this. When was the last time anybody ever made a donation or bought apparel or bought anything from HBCUs? The same people that's sitting back talking about what Deion moves were. Well, that's because you're a grad. You're a grad, okay, of an HBCU. So that's not really fair. I'm talking about I didn't graduate from an HBCU. Okay, but now look, I'm not rocking LSU right now. I'm rocking JSU. Okay, so it shows you how I was committed to try to help. Now, let me just say this to everybody so you'll understand where I'm coming from. Because
Hold on, before you say that, can I ask you this? Were
Sure.
you committed to helping Dion, or were you committed to helping HBCUs? Because you got the JSU shirt.
Yeah.
How many other shirts do you
I
have
got
that's not
3 other
JSU?
shirts here, and I'm going to rock them all week because
Okay.
that's going to be part of my conversation. I really
All right.
mean it. When I bought them, they ran a special buy 2 get 1 free. So I got a chance, and that's the beauty of it. It opened up the opportunity for me not just to support one, but I was able to get 3 schools for the price of 2. So
All
it was
right, that's
great.
what's up.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So it allowed me to be able to do some things, and that's the doors that open up when you get people like that in there. Now, let me just say this to you. Because Deion Sanders left does not mean I have to leave. But do you understand what I'm saying? He
I do.
opened up someone like me to be able to look. I used to root for Grambling and Southern, all the time because I went to LSU. So when it came to HBCUs, I really enjoyed the Southern, the Southerns and the Grambling.
I didn't know you went to
battles.
LSU.
Yes. So,
Okay.
and I don't like Kelly. I'm not a Kelly guy, but oh, I'm sorry. I was reading a comment. I'm not a Kelly guy. I hated when he came to my school. I hated it because of what he did at UC. I'm with you on that. I hated what he did to UC. I hated what he did to Notre Dame. Okay, I hated it. If Deion was doing that type of stuff, we wouldn't even be having this conversation the way we having it.
Yeah,
But
we would.
Deion Sanders did so much more for those programs, for that program that he's leaving. I can't help but be happy the way he's leaving. He's
Why?
leaving them in good shape.
Why? The truth of the matter is, Deion Sanders could do anything, and 95% of the people who right now all on his jock would still be on his jock. He could have raided that school and took all the money, and people would still be, oh, Coach Prime is the best. That's just the truth, because he's a celebrity. And people don't like to hear the truth about celebrities. All they want is to hear good things about their favorite or one of their favorite celebrities. So
I agree.
while you may not, if he would have did it, you may not support him. The majority of these people who are out here riding him, like, let me just leave that alone. The majority of people who are out here all on his tip would still be on his tip because he's a celebrity.
I understand. Let me just be honest and tell you that I did follow Deion Sanders' coaching career mainly because I was a fan of him as a sports professional, baseball and football combined. Okay. When he got into coaching, that was a whole different way for me to look at him. But at the same time, guess what he did? He went in, and when he was successful at everything that he did. When it came down to coaching, he built a program. Now it was probably easier for Deion Sanders to build Jackson State than it would be Emmanuel. What school was that you went to? I'm sorry.
Alabama State.
Okay, so it would be easier for Deion to recruit for Jackson State than it would be for Emmanuel Livingston to recruit for Alabama State. Okay, no doubt. But you still got to look at who he was recruiting against. There's some big names in HBCU coaching. They may not be Deion Sanders, but you can only recruit so many running backs. You can only recruit so many wide receivers and so many quarterbacks. You're not going to get all. You're not going to get them all. You're not going to get the best. But what Deion Sanders has been able to do is open up a door that's now going to give these young brothers magnified opportunity. And it's still there even when Deion Sanders leave. How many people can say that they did that? How many people could say that they went to the HBCUs and opened the doors up and made a big splash like that? And then when they jumped out and left,
here's why that's not fair.
Still going.
Here's why that's not fair. And I want to address what Janice just said because it's ridiculous. But here's why that's not fair. That's like taking Shaq as your daddy and saying, well, Shaq opened up so many doors for his son. He's a much better father than Emmanuel because he didn't open up all of those doors. Look at all of the resources and celebrity that Shaq comes with. So to say You know, and maybe this ain't what you're saying, but a lot of people are. He was better for these schools than some of these other guys are for their schools because
Well,
he's
yeah,
got
and recruiting,
more.
yes,
Because he's got, but you look
for the
you
reasons that you said, that
right.
he's a
So
celebrity.
so the reasons matter, and the way that I feel it, like, look, give Deion Sanders credit for what he did, but try to do it without diminishing everybody else's accomplishments. Because when you say, well, Deion this and Deion that and Deion that, that's like saying Shaq is a better daddy than Wyatt.
No,
Well, why? Well,
no,
look at how
no.
much Shaq's
Let's be
kids got, and
honest.
look at how much Wyatt's kids got. Come on, that's not a fair way to judge who's better.
But let's be honest. In that same case scenario, I get what you're saying, but let's be honest and say this: Eddie George had he had a longer stint at being what Deion Sanders is right now than Deion Sanders did.
But
Eddie
didn't we
George
already?
had an opportunity to bring. He could have had the best recruiting
Didn't we
Tennessee
already
team.
go through this? Come
No,
on,
I'm just saying,
Wyatt.
bro. Eddie George is a Hall of Famer, and he should be able to recruit kids for Tennessee. He's a legend in Tennessee.
Wyatt, it's not. That's not. You know, that's not a fair comparison, and
Yes.
it's not
But I'm
Deion's
saying
fault
before
that
Deion
he's
Sanders was
Deion.
even there. Before Deion was even there.
Let me address what Janice said.
Okay.
Janice says, if hold on, I want to get back to it. Emmanuel, that's not true. If he had raided the school, I don't believe anyone would be applauding. Janice, Kanye West, right now, is talking about how much he loved Adolf Hitler. He's talking of drawing or creating swastikas inside of the Star of David. He's doing all manner of ridiculous stuff. He still got millions of people supporting him because he's a celebrity. Donald Trump is talking about, let's abolish the Constitution. But he's a celebrity. It's hard, or at least it was difficult to get some Republicans to even say they don't support him when he say, let's abolish the Constitution. They still gonna support that man because he's Donald Trump. The idea that if a celebrity does something wrong, people won't support them is ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. You can go through example after example of celebrities doing horrible things and still getting outrageous support before, during, and after. So, yeah, if Deion, maybe some people wouldn't, but if Deion had raided Jackson State, there would still be people, prime, he prime, what you expect, he prime, he got a different lifestyle, and that would be the case. So to say nobody would still be supporting him, that's not true. You know it.
Well, yeah, people do support their childhood heroes and things of that nature, but I don't know if Deion was to do something like what Kelly has done, I would probably be talking different. I would personally see it a lot different than most people. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for most people, to be honest with you. But yeah, if it was me and Deion was doing what that Brian Kelly guy has done, this wouldn't be the same conversation. It really wouldn't. But
if Brian Kelly was Deion Sanders, and I came on here and said, I don't support Brian Kelly because of the way he did those kids at UC, and then repeated it at Notre Dame, people would be saying, oh, you're a hater. Oh, this is a crab in the barrel. Oh, he's the greatest ever. You just don't understand what he's doing. He got to move a different way, and he got to this and he got to that. But because it's Brian Kelly, I can say I don't support him, and people like, okay, I get it. That's the difference.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that's also being a little critical on Deion that you normally wouldn't be as critical on Brian Kelly. There's people that know Brian Kelly did what he did, and there's no one talking about it. There's people that know that Luke Fickell did what he did. No one's talking about it. But for some odd reason, everybody wants to talk about how Deion took the bag. Y'all don't say that about the other coaches.
Well, he did.
Nobody criticizes the other coaches and it's not fair.
I think a lot of people criticize the other coaches for leaving one school for the bag. I hear that all the time about
we
white
ain't having
coaches.
no show on Luke Fickle right now. We talking about Deion Sanders. And my point being, no.
Actually, that's funny that you say that because that even goes more to the point of the celebrity of Deion Sanders that people keep trying to downplay as if that don't factor in the stuff that's going on and the conversation surrounding him.
Well,
all I'm
first
saying,
of all, let me just say this.
Let's be fair about
Let
the
me
conversation.
just say this. The only reason why Deion Sanders got the position in Colorado is for celebrity. That's just me. You can't tell me that his body of work is good enough to be able to say that he's an elite coach at this point.
Hey, I got CK on the line.
Okay.
I know that's your boy. CK.
That's my guy.
What's up, man? How y'all doing, man? Great show. This is a great show, man. And Livingston, you know I got to hit you with. So you telling me if you know when you was at the Buzz, right?
Uh-huh.
And you talking to your audience and you telling them like, hey, I want you to listen to the Buzz. This is where your people at. We got black talk show hosts.
Right.
Boom. And
I was very pro-black. Uh-huh.
Yeah, serious pro-black. Then you get a offer 8 times your payday with $700.
Right.
Does that make you a hypocrite for taking that offer?
Absolutely. If let me explain. If say Raven is saying to me, hey, 700 is offering me a job. And I'm like, Raven, don't take that job with the white people. Come work with the black people. And she like, all right. And then Terrence is like, hey, 700 is offering me a job. And I'm like, Terrence, don't take that job with 700. They white, man. They don't care about you. Come work with the black people. Do it for the culture. All right. And then somebody else is like, hey, 700 is offering me a job. And I'm like, don't take that job over there. Do it for the culture. Come over here with the black people. Risk, you know what I'm saying? Sacrifice for the culture, for the black people, for the black stations. And then they make me that offer, and I'm like, all right, y'all, I gotta go. Peace. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite.
But you never said you wouldn't. I
don't matter. Don't matter. Still make me a hypocrite.
No, I'm saying I don't understand how are you a hypocrite if you're just in the you said doing it for the culture. The culture of football, he's starting at the ground level, HBCU. I gave you 3 years. I went undefeated. So I did everything I said I was gonna do, but then and I told you if the opportunity presents itself to me, I will entertain it. It wasn't like I said no. I wouldn't. I'll never work for them. It wasn't like he said that. He told you, yes. If they come, I'm just he's getting his feet wet in the coaching. He got to get successful to get these offers.
I agree.
So I'm saying. I think you holding him to another standard.
I'm not holding him.
I'm not holding
him to an. How am I holding him to another standard? Hold on. Let me. Can I get it out?
So if you elevating your profession,
can I get it out?
That's ridiculous.
CK, can I get it out? Did I say that he should not have taken the job?
No, I'm saying. Okay,
hold on.
when you say
come on, just answer. Why can't y'all? Hold on, stop. Why can't y'all just answer simple questions? These are simple ass questions. Did I say he should not have taken the job?
No.
Did I say I don't support him in the job?
Nope.
Did I say I hope he fail?
No, but I'm saying why the negativity then? If you're saying
what is negative?
Why you gotta come with some negative, hypocritical shit?
What is negative? Saying that the man is a hypocrite is just a statement of fact from my perspective.
What human on the planet is not a hypocrite then?
Look,
so you saying there's people that's not hypocrites out here?
Hold on. You just asked me a question about me, and I just told you if I did that, I would be a hypocrite. So if I'm willing to say I would be a hypocrite for doing something, what you want me to say because this dude is a celebrity, I'll never say something negative about him, even if it's true? No, I don't operate like that.
I'm saying a person is a hypocrite that's what are you saying? Because everybody is a hypocrite. Who's not being a hypocrite out here?
Look.
If I sell Mercedes-Benz and I tell you Mercedes are the best car in the world, yeah, that's because I work for Mercedes-Benz. Then when I get hired by Ford, I'm saying Ford is the best car. This is the coaching game. So you are blurring the lines when you saying, this is the game he's in.
The dude's a hypocrite.
So when you judging this guy, this is everybody you're talking about. Every single coach, 100%.
The dude's a hypocrite.
You can single him out for anything hypocritical.
Oh, wait,
that
so-
he's doing that
Wait a minute.
coach
So
don't do.
so let me make sure I understand this. You don't believe that he is or has ever been a hypocrite.
Yeah. Listen, all I'm saying is, I'm saying that's part of the game.
CK.
It's like calling him a hypocrite is like calling a bank robber a thief.
Oh, my
That's
God.
what they do. This is what I am. If I'm trying to recruit you for my college that I work
Right.
for, of course I'm gonna say. Of course I'm gonna say, yes, this is the best college in the world.
Wait a
because
minute.
I work for it.
Hold
So
on.
Yes, you gonna always be able to call me a hypocrite when I go work.
So then what you mad about? If you say he's a
I'm saying,
CK,
I'm saying,
hold on.
What's the point? I'm
oh
saying
my
what
God.
I'm mad about is black people always got to
CK.
bring out the negative shit. What
CK.
the fuck is the hypocrite shit about? So
CK.
that's what I'm saying. So you can't
CK.
just be positive about something. Is it
CK.
jealousy?
CK.
Is it jealousy?
CK. Yeah, I'm jealous. I want the 400 million. That's stupid. CK, if you can say he's a hypocrite, and if you can say everybody's a hypocrite, why can't I say he's a hypocrite?
No, I'm saying, but that's the whole basis of your argument.
Hold on.
That's what I'm
Let me
trying to
say this.
That's
to
the
you.
only thing that I said,
Hold on.
CK.
Let me say this
That's the
to you,
only
E.
thing that I said that you could look at and say is negative, but you
Let me-
said it. So
let
why
me-
you
let me
hating on
say this.
Deion?
All right, let me say this. I should have started off different. Deion is greatness. He accomplished greatness within the 3 years, going undefeated, winning those straps. He accomplished greatness. But I'm saying, as black people, what we want to do is bring out a negative story about it. It's like it's nothing negative to speak about this.
Well, that's not
It's
true.
like, okay, well,
He's
let's
a
speak it.
hypocrite.
Well, he's a hypocrite.
He is.
Yeah. Now, and that's
Okay,
what I'm
let me
saying.
say this to both of y'all.
Hold on. Why trying to say something? Why trying to say something? I got to
Because-
turn you down a little bit while he talk.
Because I want CK to hear this while he's on the air, if possible. To say that Deion is a hypocrite, that's almost like saying that if he committed, I think I'm echoing. People probably can't hear this.
I think you probably are. And again, this.
Okay, I'll wait for CK. I'll wait for him to be out so people
No, I
can
can hear you. No, I can hear why.
Yeah, but he's echoing when
Oh,
you're
I'm sorry
on and you
about
can hear
that.
him. It's some
I
settings.
just listen to
It's some
y'all, man.
settings.
I
Hold
appreciate
on,
it,
hold on.
man.
Let me say this, CK, and forgive me for hating on myself, y'all. Because if I was saying this about Deion Sanders, then y'all would be ready to lynch me. But there's some settings on my side that I have wrong that I need to fix. So I am in error here. So that's why WYATT can't talk to y'all when y'all call my line. But I promise y'all, I will have that fixed by the next King and I. But I know if I would have said that about Deion, why you hate Deion? You said he had bad settings and he the best ever. Get off his dick. But go ahead, CK.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
No, hey man, I'm gonna just listen, man. But hey, y'all, I'm just proud of what he accomplished with his career. I think he did a good thing with and then I think he making other Hall of Famers that he's influencing them to get into the HBCU business because it's a good groundwork to get to the NCAA. You see where it got him. He couldn't have just got to the NCAA off his name. He had to go and be accomplished with them. Now he got the offer from Colorado. He wouldn't have got this without HBCU. So he influenced other Hall of Famers to get into the HBCU business.
Possibly. All right,
Yep.
CK.
Like Ray Lewis, people like that, man. Yep. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to y'all though, man. Good show.
All right.
Let me say this on what CK just said, and I put a post out that I wanted people to think about. It's on my Facebook page, and it was, people are mad at Deion Sanders for leaving, but they're not mad at some people for not even going. You got all these coaches that want to break out in coaching, and they mad because Nebraska or Miami or all these big schools won't give them a coaching opportunity. How many of them are going over to the HBCUs and looking to start there and taking their big name and a big celebrity over there? How many are actually doing that? That would be a question. Now, what I was going to say with CK about the hypocrite thing that y'all were talking about, it's not fair, honestly, E, to call Deion Sanders a hypocrite if he had already set the perimeters, the boundaries of that. I'm not going to be here forever. It's not like he told these kids, look, come with me. We about to change everything. I ain't going nowhere. These guys are signing contracts at the college level of 6 years, and then they leave in 2 years. That makes a freshman recruit feel comfortable when your coach got a 6-year contract and you end up leaving in year 2 of that contract. That's not fair. But when you look at somebody like Dion, he made it very clear to everybody that he's not going to be in that organization forever. He made it clear. I know it's the baby's birthday. Happy birthday. Look like she's leaving, y'all. So wish her a happy birthday. But that's not being a hypocrite when you end up moving on to a better organization, a better situation. And it's been clear that Dion was not going to be there forever. He was not set in stone to be in the SWAC forever.
Well, I disagree with you. And hopefully we can disagree.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I just think there's a double standard when we do things amongst each other that we just, you can say he used the culture, but of course, some kids went to that school strictly because he was Deion Sanders, but he also opened up the doors for some kids that will not get recruited at that high level. They won't get recruited. And he's opened up doors. He opened up doors for the HBCUs to get television. He opened up the doors for some of these people to recognize and talk about a little bit more.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
I'm talking about some of the people that are saying what they're saying about him. Like you said.
I'm saying that man is still a hypocrite. By my definition, I guess, of a hypocrite. To kind of double down on CK's example, if I was telling people, don't go do a show on the white station, we gonna build this network here, this black network. Don't go to the white station. I know, they got opportunity over there for you. They might pay you more, but don't go there. Come here and struggle with me, sacrifice with me so we can build this. And then that white station said, we got an offer for you. And I took it. I think that makes me a hypocrite.
Okay.
Now you might not.
Let me ask you on that same point. When you say, let's build this together, does that mean he has to build it from the foundation all the way to the rooftop? How long does you don't think his building is just getting the building started? You think he's supposed to be there through the whole duration of building a program? That don't happen all the time. That's not how building things work. There's levels of building. There's certain points of when you get involved. You don't think that he built Jackson State? You don't think he had a lot to do with the success that they're getting in media right now and national coverage? Not just Jackson State, but the teams they playing. That 10-year deal with ESPN was a hell of a foundation to lay down. That don't mean he got to be there for the whole 10 years, to see it through. He laid it down. It's time for the next man to get the opportunity.
So I say Raven, last month, don't go with them. We build in here. And then they make me an offer. And so next week I leave. I can say, hey, I did my part.
Wait a minute.
I got all y'all there.
Let's use that example. If you go over there by yourself and you leave them high and dry, yeah, that's different. But if you say, let's build over here on this network and do what we do, and they say, well, I got an offer to go over, and I say, no, that ain't right. That don't sound right. They gonna screw you out of money or whatever. And then 2 weeks later, they come send you an offer and they say, hey, we want you, Raven, and Lincoln all to come over with your platform and do your show, the show that y'all do, and build it.
I'm still a hypocrite. Yes.
No, you're still building.
Because here's why. Here's why I'm a hypocrite. No, here's why I'm a hypocrite. I'm not building. I'm building them. Here's what I did. Everybody that I brought in.
Say that, bro. You can't.
Can I get it?
You just said it. You said you're not building. You're building them.
So you don't actually want me to answer the question.
Well, you said shit that wasn't true. You said that's not them building. You're not building.
It's
you.
Not.
You building
I'm not.
them. That's not true.
I'm not building at that point. I'm tearing down what I said I was building. Hear what you just said.
Oh man.
I take Lincoln, Terrence, Raven, Tiana, and Chad. Even though, Chad's white. But for this example, he's black. And I take Chad. And they become the nucleus of what my black network is. And I done told them all, don't go over there. We gonna build this here for the culture. This is for black people, and we gonna build for black people. We don't need white people to build this. And then they make me an offer, and I take the offer, but I take Chad, I take Lincoln, I take Raven, I take Terrence, I take Tiana with me. What am I leaving for the culture?
Let me tell
They
you
got
what
to
you leaving.
rebuild.
Let
The
me tell you
culture
what you
got to
leaving.
rebuild. I tore it down. Whatever
Let me
I
tell you what
built,
you building.
I took it from the culture, and now
No.
I am
See,
giving
you're
that
not
to the people
understanding.
that I said don't deserve it.
That's not true, E. Let me tell you what you're doing. You're doing the same thing like the little brothers from $1 Million Worth of Game did. They started out independent. They built their brand. They did what they did. Then they got a big old whatever contract from Barstools. Did they leave their culture, or did they get on a bigger platform to do what
What
they
I'm
doing
doing
to
is I'm
build?
doing possibly maybe the same thing that BET did. I built it, and then I sold it to Viacom.
But that's different from selling it and giving up all what you do
It's
and
the
give and
same
relinquish.
thing, man.
No,
It's
it's
the
not.
same
If they
thing.
saying we want your brand to come over here, they're giving you a bigger platform and a bigger audience to do what you do. You can't say that now they own you necessarily. You can part ways with them. You're building yourself to be bigger.
But if I took, look, I just don't think in terms of because you're looking at this in terms of Dion, and so and like you said, he was your hero, and so I don't think you're being objective about this. I
he
really
was never
don't.
my hero. I said he was a
I
very good ball player, and I
I
liked
I,
him. I was a
I
fan of him.
I think what's happening is, I don't know. Maybe you are being objective, and we just view things differently, and that's fine.
No, what I'm
But
saying is you think that the way that you build your program or be committed to what you're doing, it has to stay in one place. And I'm saying that's not
no,
necessarily true.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying though, if I say we building this network for black people and we don't need no white people, we don't need their help, we gonna do this for us, for black people, for the culture. And then I begin to build it. And then the white people come calling, and I take everything that I built and bring it to the white people. You know what the network for the black people got to do? What do they have to do now? They got to rebuild because I took it. I took what I built for them and gave it to the white people.
If that's how you view it,
Wyatt.
I'm sorry you view it that way. But I just used a podcast that gave you an example. $1 Million Worth of Game is still cultural related. They still do what they do. That's just like you and I. These guys do exactly what you and I do. They got put on some big, large platform. Now they have a bigger platform to do what they do for the culture. Just because you go to a larger platform don't necessarily mean that we're done building. It don't mean that we take away from our culture.
But they're not on their platform. See, that's the difference. That the HBCU system and the PWI system are different platforms. So you can't say I'm going to build this platform, but then leave that platform and go to that platform and say, I'm still building that platform. You're not. You left that platform to be rebuilt by somebody else. You took what you built and gave it away or sold it or whatever. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, but you took it and you gave it to somebody else. And now you leave that platform that you just left to be rebuilt because you rated it.
That's I think you're taking it out of the content that I poured it out to be.
I'm not that
saying
is
like for instance, let's just say this, E. If you and I are doing King and I right now, okay, and we're doing numbers or whatever, and then some big, let's say Barstool comes around. Now you and I have an agreement that we're doing this for the culture. We're doing this to make sure that people can hear our points of views of what's going on in the city of Cincinnati.
Can we pause for a moment before you go further? Can we pause? Can we pause before you go further? So the question becomes then, because this is where I think we're seeing it different. The question becomes, are we building this for black people and a network that black people can come to, that we own, that we run, and that speaks to our community to help our community, or are we just building it just for them to listen to? Because that makes all the difference. Here's why I asked that question.
Really understand
to me, here's why. That makes all the difference. The HBCU system is as if we're building for Black ownership. We're building something that Black people own, that Black people run, that Black people populate, that Black people listen to, that Black people go to for information that helps Black people. This is what this network that we're building, that's what it's for. One of the main things is Black people own it. Black people own it, right? So that means I can leave, but Black people still own that because we built that, because Black people own it. Then WYATT can leave, but we still own that. That don't go away. The HBCU system didn't go away. It's still there. He said,
Let me give you an example of what you're saying, and I'll use something in real life to make it more relatable, so to speak. Let's use Nick Cannon as an example. If Nick Cannon would have owned Wild 'N Out, the name, the substance, and everything, when the network brought it to a bigger stage, they would not have been able to do him the way they did him. That's the difference between knowing you don't give up your publishing, you don't give up everything. Just because you go to a bigger platform doesn't necessarily mean that you're done building what you're doing. But in Nick Cannon's spot, Nick Cannon gave up the rights to what he built. That's a difference. Now they own everything that you do.
WYATT, I think in this particular case, you're looking at it wrong, because you're looking at, let's say, the team as opposed to the system, right? The HBCUs are their own thing, right?
When you say that, what do you mean? You think they're Black owned, don't you?
No, most of them are.
Okay, so what do you mean?
Most of them are publicly owned. But I say that. What I mean is, they might not be Black owned, but they're a totally different culture, all in and of itself.
Well, that's right. We know that, but I'm just saying you're saying this as if if we're building something that you have to stay stagnant in a position in order to build it for it to have value.
No, I'm saying this as if they already exist. Like Deion didn't create HBCUs. I know some of y'all don't believe that, but he didn't. Deion didn't create HBCUs. They already existed, but they're underfunded. And I mean, some of that, a lot of them are state funded institutions. They're underfunded because we live in America. And I know you don't, think race plays a factor in it, but because we live in America, white people just really ain't gonna pay no attention and ain't gonna want to see them elevated. So they're gonna always, as long as we are 12, 13% of the population, they're always gonna be, at a certain level, right? So you can't come to me and say, this thing that's already established, we're going to build it into something bigger and more amazing.
So let me ask you this. On that point, do you think ESPN coming in giving a 10-year deal worth $30 million to HBU football, is that building them on a platform?
But let me answer that with a question, which I know you hate.
No,
I
thought you didn't like that.
I know, I hate it too.
Okay.
But do you know what the deal is for the SEC?
Well, no, I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but I can tell you this. It is very much more significant than $10 million or $30 million. Exactly. But there's a reason why, E. It's not just because of black and white.
No, yes, there's a reason why. I understand
it's the same reason why NBA players make way much more money than WNBA players. Let's be real. It ain't because one's a man and one's a woman. It has nothing to do with that. Let's be real. The HBCUs will never make as much money at this point based on.
You don't actually want to hear.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That wasn't my point. My point was you saying that as if what you're saying is, hey, they do want to elevate it by giving them the $30 million. But no.
You think they just gave them the money for no reason, no purpose?
I think they gave them the money because they thought that they could recoup that money.
Absolutely.
Because they believed that with Deion being there, he's bringing all of those eyes to it, that attention would be stoked, or whatever the appropriate terminology is, and people would get a lot more eyes on it. That's why they did it. They didn't do it to elevate them. They did it because it was a business decision. That's why they did it.
Right. And I think they're looking for a return on their money, correct? Because
Of course they are.
it's an investment. It's an
Yeah.
investment on the HBCUs. So when you look at that, you have to say to yourself, that's them investing on their large platform, because ESPN is the largest sport network in the world.
Hold
And
on a
you're
second,
going to
please.
bring,
Because some of these people someone says SEC has their own network, as if to say that they don't still have a deal where they get paid by the
they get
networks.
paid on ESPN.
Exactly. So
They get paid on ESPN and
come on,
ESPN
y'all.
Plus.
Come on, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying they get paid heavily on ESPN
Yes.
and ESPN Plus.
Yes,
and
they do.
major networks, because they do play on national television as well.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think, was it ABC that aired the SEC
Whatever-
championship game?
Yeah, whatever Channel 9 is, or Channel 12, those guys.
Yeah.
And then Fox is an independent sports network as well. They pay these guys.
Yeah.
And not to mention how much money has now been spreaded around in the HBCUs due to sponsorships. And it's no different than the SEC and some of these other things, where smaller schools are now starting to play bigger schools in HBCUs, and they get paid to go play those teams. And that's how they generate funds as well.
That
And
is
with
one of the ways they
attendance
generate
being what it is, and now with TV contracts, thank God Deion Sanders and a few other highly profile coaches have done there. I think they've done a good job. I think what happened is Deion got there and brought awareness of how
Yes, he did.
how it's been moving. But man, if Deion would have never been there, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So
Well, we
I think
definitely
it was
would.
effective, and he's done everything that he promised them he would do. And I just don't see how people are upset that the man went on to do bigger things. And not to mention, he will recruit, and he will recruit little young men that probably never would have been looked at. He will also bring in 13 black coaches that would have never gotten an opportunity, more likely, to be in a big, a D1 school at that high level. And we'll see the pedigree that comes off of what he's done, his accomplishments.
Yes. I agree. I agree with I believe all of that. I agree with all of that. But none of that stops him from being a hypocrite. None of that stops him from being a hypocrite. And you don't have to agree with it, but
I mean, I think hypocrite is a strong word, because he never committed to be there forever.
he committed to building it.
And he did that.
He didn't.
When do you stop building? You don't listen, bro. When you build a home, you got different people that do different things. Nobody is laying the foundation and building the walls, and then doing the drywall, and then putting the electric. No one man builds a home by himself. There's people.
But you don't say, hey, we gonna build this, and then you just put up the foundation and the walls and walk away and take all your
Yes.
tools.
Yes,
No,
bro.
you don't. And take all the
Listen.
tools, so can't nobody else
Listen, man.
build.
He didn't
Stop
take
it.
all the tools, bro.
He
didn't
took
take
the
all
tools. Yes, he
No,
did.
He took some people that probably, let's be honest,
He took
based
the
on
tools.
your logic, he
He took
may
the
have
electric. He took the electric drill and left him with that one little thing that you
But
got to
hold
turn
on,
like
E.
that.
Hold on, E. What you don't even realize is this: he's not only taking team players off of Jackson State. He has the ability to go in and recruit other players from other HBC teams that he was playing
That's
against.
even worse.
No, it's
That's
not,
even
E,
worse.
because these are the same kids that
That's
never
even
had an
worse.
opportunity to go to that next level. Why don't you
Because he
understand
told
that?
them they don't need to go to that next level. Why you
So
need them to
Deion
go to that
Sanders
next level?
recruited-
Black is
Wait a
good
minute.
enough. Black
Deion
is
Sanders
good enough.
Hold on,
Black is
E.
good enough.
Hold on, E. So you telling me Deion Sanders recruited for Tennessee State, telling them, let's be over, come to us, come to the SWAC, come to us, and blah, 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 for the black culture and blah, blah, blah.
No.
He had nothing to do with the recruitment of them other players on them other teams.
That's not the point. That's not
Well,
the
you
point.
just said
The point is, no, here's the point. If Eddie George done went out and recruited, and Eddie Robinson Jr. done went out and recruited, and then Deion come through, on his little scooter, because, he can't walk, on his little scooter, snatching up all they good players. How is that building?
Well,
You
let me just say
taking
this to you.
Black is good enough. Why?
Bro, let me just say this.
why-
Brian Kelly can do the same thing to the players that Eddie George recruited. They do it. They all do that. They all come to the schools and say, hey, man, you didn't spend 2 years at this school now. You getting your weight up. You're getting used to the systems. Why don't you come on over to LSU? Why don't you come over to this? Why don't you,
What you're doing is a
they
false
all do that.
equivalency. We're talking about rating from, because again, based on we're doing this for black people. We're doing this for the culture. We're building this system up, this HBCU system up. But then you leave, so you're going to come in and then take all the good players from the HBCU system to the white system, and
It
somehow
happens.
that
It
is
happens.
helpful
Listen,
to the
bro.
HBC, and somehow that is helpful to the HBCU system. You
Listen,
really
I don't
believe?
know if you know this or not.
Wait, you really believe that if Deion Sanders comes in and goes to all of the SWAC teams and takes all of their best players, that he helped the SWAC?
You're not being realistic. These kids play 1 or 2 years in the SWAC, and they get recruited from other Big Ten schools. They get they have options after they a couple years, brother. You act like Deion Sanders is not going to do what the other players are doing or the other coaches are doing, and it's not uncommon for them to do that. They go to JUCO colleges and they go to small colleges like HBCUs to do that.
Okay. All right.
They
Well,
do
you're
that.
right. You're right. Rating all the schools of their best talent would be him building those schools up. You're right. I don't know why I didn't think of it that way. Deion, come in.
I don't know what you
please
got.
come in.
I don't know how you got that out of that.
I just
really
asked
don't.
that question. I specifically asked that question, and you said it was a good thing. Deion, come on in. Go to all of the schools in the SWAC. As a matter of fact, go to all of the HBCU schools that's got football teams, take their best players to Colorado. That's how you build the HBCU system up. Take all their best players. Yes, that makes perfect sense.
You're spinning the narrative because
That's
you're
what
not
you
going to
just
be able to.
said,
No,
and it
that's
didn't
not
make
what I
sense
said.
when you said it.
I said that Deion is going to do exactly what the other schools do. And Deion is not the only coach out there that visits HBCU teams. And now let me ask you something. Do you think if a kid has an opportunity of being a junior at an HBCU team and Nick Saban from Alabama comes talk to him and say, hey, bro, I got a linebacker position that you're second on the depth chart. You think he going to stay at the HBCU or he going to go over to Alabama? Because it happens, E. It
Not
happens
the point.
more than you.
I'm not sure that y'all are understanding the point. But I believe some of that is because y'all actually view HBCUs as inferior.
No, bro. No,
yes.
it's just no. It's
Yes.
has nothing. Oh my God, bro! Don't do that.
That is 100%. If you didn't view the HBCUs as inferior, number one, except for from a monetary standpoint and everything, you wouldn't look at any and every black kid from the HBCUs as less than and as needing something more to feel some sort of worth.
Oh
and
God, gee, I can't, bro.
That is problematic.
I can't even top
Look,
that ridiculousness. I can't top that.
Look,
I have no answer
that
to
is
that.
that is
I'm just saying there's different
100%
levels to the
problematic. There is nothing like I don't know how many times it's been said today. What did you expect him to die like Eddie Robinson and just coach at a HBCU his whole life? As if that is a miserable existence for a black man to coach at a HBCU for his whole life, to elevate those same young men that you keep talking about. Deion said he wanted to elevate, to teach them that there's more to life than football. Oh, but he's doing it at an HBCU. What a miserable existence. What, do you expect him to just stay at a HBCU forever? Like, oh my goodness, that's like going to hell.
Let me just say this
like
to you.
Going to a HBCU.
Let me say this to you because you brought up somebody and I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Hold on, let me finish. Going to a HBCU, I went to a HBCU. I didn't graduate from there. But going to a HBCU, there is a sense of pride there, okay? They give you a sense of pride in who you are, right? So it's not a punishment. If you went to a primarily white institution, it might seem like a punishment to have to go to a HBCU, but it's not. There's a lot of pride there, and there's a lot of respect, and people honor people. And the idea that it would be beneath him or a punishment for Deion Sanders to coach at a HBCU for an extended period of time is kind of sickening because it's not a punishment. There's nothing wrong with being black. There's nothing wrong with going to a black school. There's nothing wrong with coaching black kids
Right,
at
you
a
done
black
took this to a
school.
whole nother situation. It's
It's the
nothing wrong with that.
truth.
If that was the case, Dion would have never went to the HBCU.
As
I mean,
a
he would have
stepping
never
stool.
went to Jackson
As a
State.
stepping
if
stool.
what you're
Yeah, as a
saying.
stepping stool.
Excuse me?
As a stepping stool. People who think there's something wrong with black people don't ever see nothing wrong with using black people to step up to get to where white people are.
But wait a minute, E.
Yes.
People do people like that. That ain't no black thing or no white thing. That's a people thing. People step on people to get where they going.
But
It's
there
not necessarily
there is a
black people step
culture.
on black people all the time, brother.
But
What are you
there is
talking about?
in this culture here in the United States of America, black is meant, or people look at black as inferior.
See, okay, all right. So we then went from football coach to black people feeling inferior. So now I
because
know how
we done passed the football coach thing. Hold on, because you want to wrap up the football thing. Let me wrap up the football thing. Again, I wish him well. He had every right to go. He did a lot for the HBCUs when he was there, and I hope he win a national championship. He a grown man. He can make whatever decision he want to make. He gonna recruit. He hopefully he gonna be good. He gonna take players. It is what it is. I think he's a hypocrite. A lot of people don't. That's that with the coaching thing, because ain't nothing we can say about that. But there are other issues over the coaching thing, which kind of color the coaching thing, which people ain't really trying to talk about.
Okay. Well, all I do is this. I don't find him to be a hypocrite because he did build HBCUs to be much better than they were 5 years ago. I'm just going to be honest with you. You can't call somebody a hypocrite when they accomplish what they said they were going to do. Now, maybe it didn't fall out the way it was planned, but that's just, bro. I have
being
no
a hypocrite
comeback.
is not
I have
about
no
what
comeback
you
to all the
accomplished.
other stuff you were saying, because I just don't.
Being a hypocrite is not about what was accomplished. That's not what. Again, if I tell everybody I'm building this black thing and we gonna become great, and then we become great, and then I rate it and we all go to black people and leave that hanging, I accomplished what I said I was going to accomplish, but I'm still a hypocrite.
You know what he said he was going to do? You know what he said he was going to do? Deion Sanders said he was going to bring exposure to HBCUs. He was going to bring light and guidance.
That's not all he said. That's not all he said.
Well, I mean, I was, like you said, in the middle of saying what I was saying.
Okay.
He said he was going to bring light and guidance and relevance to HBC, to the SWAC. He was going to bring guidance. He was going to bring everything that he said he was going to bring, and he did it. And not only did he do it, when he left it in good situation. He left them in a better economic. He might have drained the swamp of a few players. Okay. But he still left them in a position where kids could be recruited and feel like that they're going to something that has more value. How can you not see that?
Who say I didn't see that?
Well, then how is he a hypocrite if he did what he said he was going to do?
No. He's a hypocrite because he told those people that he was doing one thing and he convinced them to forego opportunities that they would have had. But when that exact same opportunity came to him, he took it. He's a hypocrite. He can have done all of those things. See, y'all want me to say he didn't do nothing. He tore up the.
No.
I'm not saying that.
We're not saying that you said that he did nothing.
But that's just it.
You're
I
using
agreed
a
with you,
word.
Wyatt. I agreed with you, and you like, well, how can you agree with me and think he's a hypocrite?
Well, because
both things can be true.
Yes, I understand that, E. But what you're saying is he was a hypocrite for making a commitment of building something that he actually built.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's a hypocrite for telling people to not take an opportunity right in front of them with white people because they was white people. But then when white people gave him that same opportunity, he took it. That's hypocritical.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
He got a right to be hypocritical. It don't make him evil, but it is hypocritical. Like, why was that so hard? That's not difficult to get. He did good things. He's a good dude. He, whatever.
So it's fair to say that he did more good for the HBCU program than he did bad.
I don't know that he necessarily did anything bad.
Well, hypocrite is not a very good thing. Maybe that's
Hypocrite
why
is
we're
just
so caught up in our feelings for you
hypocrite
saying
is
it that way.
just a thing. Well, get out y'all feelings.
Well, when you call somebody a hypocrite for accomplishing what they said they were going to do, yeah, that puts people in their feelings because that sways a negative.
Get out y'all feelings. Dion ain't your daddy. Get out your
He
feelings.
ain't
If I
gotta
say
be
something
one.
about Dion, that shouldn't put you in your feelings. You
No,
don't know that
no,
man.
bro. You taking it too far with that. I'm saying that
What?
when you use the word hypocrite,
Oh.
it gives a negative sway of what he accomplished. That's all I'm saying. to
No,
you,
it just
brother.
gives a negative sway of the reasoning behind that decision. But it's
Okay.
his decision to make, whether I like it or not.
Okay. All right. Well, I think the HBCU college football situation
Hold on,
that
do
Deion
something
Sanders
for
has.
me.
Huh?
Can you do something for me real quick?
Sure.
I really liked I was gonna say Prince, but he's not with us anymore. I really like Stevie Wonder. Okay. I really do. I like Stevie Wonder. I think he's the greatest artist, possibly of all time, but definitely of my time. Okay. As a writer, as a musician, as a singer, like I think he during his time had the best vocals of anybody I've ever heard. All right. Say something negative about him.
About Stevie Wonder?
Yeah. Call him a hypocrite.
I can't call him a hypocrite. I don't know anything about him. I know he's a great artist. I know he's a great songwriter. I know he's everything that you just said. I don't know anything about him for me to call him a hypocrite.
But if you did and you called him a hypocrite and I got in my feelings about it, what would that say about me?
No,
That don't mean he ain't a great artist. That don't mean he ain't a great singer. That don't mean he ain't a great all of that stuff. He can be all of that and he can have done something that you looked at and said, yeah, he was a hypocrite on that.
Yeah,
And
but here's the thing.
if I get in my feelings, I got issues.
Well, here's the thing though. When you use the word hypocrite, if it's pertaining or if it's attached to malice, there's a little bit difference there. If I say to you, don't go over there and then go over there, that's one thing. You haven't done anything to anybody but benefit yourself. But if I tell you don't go over there and they got offers and this and this and that, and then I go over there, that's kind of like you're saying that he had malice in his heart when he did what he did. He said
I'm saying he has selfishness in his heart. Dion was thinking about Dion. And Dion got a right to think about Dion because guess who Emmanuel be thinking about when he be making decisions? Emmanuel.
Yeah, I get it. But I just think that people get in their feelings when they hear the word hypocrite because it's attached to, there's malice attached to it. Like he made some big dramatic lie or this deception. He was a Brian Kelly type of situation. And then I just don't think that that's the case.
Well,
I don't
people
know
looking
if
at
he was really trying to
people
sell
looking at
HBCUs and saying, hey, I'm bringing attention here. And he's trying to go recruit these kids to say, hey, you can be just as great over here at HBCUs. Look what I'm going to do. This is blah, blah, blah. Come here. Don't go there. That's a form of representation. You're marketing what you're doing. To be a hypocrite means to tell them that I'm going to be here the whole time that we're building. I just don't see it that way.
That's not what it
means. And
means.
then at the same time, you don't necessarily have to be building. See, I'm telling you, he built something. Maybe his building is not what your expectations of building is. Some people lay bricks as building. They set the path. Some people set the path of building, and then some people stay until the entire building is done.
Okay.
So maybe he was setting the path of building what he was building. And I don't think that he's made any commitments to anybody. And I don't think he set any commitments to these kids or anybody that said, I mean, I don't hear any bad publicity. All I hear are opinions. I don't hear the school saying anything like he told us he was going to do this.
No, the school said, thank you, Coach Prime. They put out a whole post and everything. Yeah,
I haven't heard any of the kids
that don't stop him from being a hypocrite.
But hold on. I haven't heard any of the kids screaming and hollering like he told my daddy he was going to be here through my senior year. I ain't heard none of that. I haven't heard any of that.
That don't stop him from being a hypocrite. If you tell me I know you got this opportunity to go there, but don't do it. And then they give you the opportunity to go there and you like, oh, but I'm going. You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You got a right to be a hypocrite, but that's what you are.
Let me ask you
I
this,
don't-
because
why is this so
that's a form
hard?
of hypocrisy. But let me ask you this: if he take you with him, just like I told you in your
You
example of,
still a hypocrite. So you brought me, you told me not to go there and you brought me. So then when you decide to go, so what, did you bring me just so it would give you an opportunity maybe? I don't know. But the fact that you said don't go there, go here, because this is for the culture, this is for us. And then you went there, you a hypocrite. It don't matter if you
well,
take me with you.
let me say this, man, and it has nothing to do with what you're talking about. I mean, like your point of view, it has a lot to do with how we need to start viewing some things. A lot of black people need to take the same approach as other people that are not in our culture. You ever notice how a lot of people, and I don't want to say too much as far as the nationality of them because I don't want to get this bleep. I already been cut off. But do you notice how a lot of people build off of us, but we never build off of them? I think we might want to look at the blueprint of how Dion might be able to build something off of somebody else's dollar versus them building off of his dollar. And what I mean by that is this: look at the culture from from clothing to music to entertainment, period. They all make their money. The boardroom make their money off of us and leave a few of us able to make money. And then the culture suffers. They're vultures. Okay. There's vultures out there that take advantage of us.
Like Dion
We
just
need
did.
to learn how to vulture in some other cultures.
Yeah, and
We
Dion
need to
did
learn
that.
how to do that and stop saying that I need to open. It's almost like saying I'm not going to take a cash loan from a bank, a big bank, to open up my black-owned restaurant. I'm gonna hustle and I'm gonna do what I got to do to get my own money up, so I don't owe anybody when I make this. That's a great idea. But I don't know how practical it is. But then you go over to Fifth Third or PNC Bank, and they're willing to give you the loan. You telling me that I can't build what I'm gonna create as pass down wealth or pass down opportunity to my family, but it took me to use their money, and they made money off of their money for loaning it to me. We got to learn how to build off of their culture like they build off of ours. And if that means go build their program so you can get bigger and better at doing what you're doing, sometimes you just got to do that, bro. And
Then
for
don't,
us to think,
and I don't have a problem with that, but don't spend me to
but I
give
don't
up
think anybody
to
was spent.
don't spend me to potentially give up an opportunity when you would take that exact same opportunity. That's all I'm saying. I
Yeah,
agree with what you
I
said.
get
I
that argument.
agree with what you said.
I get that argument, but I don't know any black man in this country. I don't know too many. I don't know too many. I shouldn't say it like that. I don't know too many successful people in this country, period, that were not able to do it the right way and not use some form of institutional support, meaning banking. Okay. And most smart people know to use other people's money. All right, to do what you got to do. And that's the same way that we've been getting pimped for decades on top of decades. And that is other people using us for the culture, and they get the high end of the money. And now we got an opportunity to bring, we got the opportunity to do, Dion has the opportunity to do exactly what's been done to us for years after years. And then I'll say the same thing to you about the King and I podcast. If we sitting here saying we're going to build this network, we could sit here and say, we're going to build this network, E, and we're going to bring other people. And then you get an offer from a big platform, Barstool. And I say, damn, bro, but we building over here. Don't take it. And then I come to you a week later and say, hey, bro, they offered me a deal. But the deal is they want the King and I. Now we can still build us over there, and we can still build what we're doing on our platform. We can still do that, but we're going to be under that banner over there. See, that's utilizing their culture to make our wealth.
But that's not. But
Yes,
again,
bro. Yes,
but
it
again,
is.
but again, you're leaving out if we done brought other people in here.
No,
right?
That's not what we're doing. I specifically said if we're doing what we're doing, we didn't take other people. We're doing what we're doing.
But Dion did. So that's what I'm saying. If we done brought other people in and they had offers from Barstool, and we told them, don't take it, don't take it. Don't take it. Don't take it. And then they offer me, and I'm like, I'm taking this shit. That's me being a hypocrite, bro. And even if I take them with me, That's still, I was a hypocrite on that one.
Yeah,
I
well,
was a
you know
hypocrite
what?
on that one.
I look at it like this. Who is that? Oh, the Ross guy said, y'all two ninjas can't build a wall together. That's funny. But he's right based on our logic right now of this standings, because I'm a firm believer. Good one, Roz. I'm a firm believer that we have to learn how to utilize our sources. And sometimes the source is not always the way you think it should be. It's not always
And
it's not always what you expect it to be.
And that's fine. But again, like you said earlier, the issue is, and really the only reason we still talking about this is 6:09 and I got to go because I got a rehearsal I got to be at. The only issue is people in their feelings, because the word, and they really like Dion. And so that puts them in their feelings. Because if I
Yeah.
said that about Brian Kelly, ain't nobody in their feelings. Like, it's Brian Kelly. I don't like it anyway, so I don't care. But it's Dion, and you used the word, so now I'm all in my feelings. Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings.
I get it. All right, E. Well, it looks like we're at the end, man. 6 o'clock.
We didn't get to
on.
talk about the police.
We'll do it on the next.
We
one.
didn't get to talk
I know that's
about,
your avenue, boy. You love talking about.
We didn't get to talk about that Twitter and Hunter Biden stuff. I really wanted to hit on that too.
We'll get on the
You
next
know,
one.
yeah.
We'll get
You
on the
definitely
next
know
one.
I
for
want to
sure.
talk about them police.
Huh?
I said, yeah, you're right. I definitely want to talk about them police.
You love getting on them police. Woo! All right, man. Listen, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate you having a conversation. We can agree to disagree and still be
Absolutely.
brothers as always.
Absolutely.
But you was wrong, but it's cool.
And happy birthday in advance. Well, tomorrow your birthday.
Yeah, I'll turn 40. Who said something?
Happy birthday in advance,
you.
man. You know,
appreciate it.
party up. You still gonna be on the air?
Good question. I think I will. It all depends. My wife hasn't said anything. You know, her birthday was last week, and we generally do a family show, a family dinner. What's crazy is my wife's birthday is on the 27th of November, and then my birthday is December the 6th, and then my daughter's is a week later, my oldest daughter. So we have 3 birthdays, you know, simulcast, like week to week.
Yeah.
So we generally just have one big little dinner or something together. And my daughter's off at school at OSU, so we'll probably do something when she comes home for Christmas break here in the next. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna do 5 o'clock tomorrow, unless they surprise me. But I'll let people know. I'll put a post up. And tomorrow, if I do the show, I am definitely going to explain to the people how wrong you were today. How wrong you were today.
That's
And
all
let
right.
me just say this on the Deion. Because Deion Sanders left, don't mean we gotta leave. Go to your HBCU's websites, whatever favorite school you have. Go to Under Armour, where I got my sweatshirts or whatever. Go to these sites. Continue to support the sports. Because Deion left, all he did was give us exposure. Because he left, don't mean we have to leave.
Bro, they ain't going.
So that's one of the things.
They didn't
I
care
would
about.
never bought this sweatshirt if he wasn't there.
And that's cool, but these people, they don't care nothing about HBCUs. They went for Deion. They are not going. They are not supporting. And I know that sound defeatist, but
Yeah, that's kind of me, bro. I'm being honest with you. I didn't go support Jackson State. I never even really heard of Jackson State until Deion got there. And see, that's giving him even more credit because, yes, I'm a fan of Deion, the football player. I'm not necessarily a fan of, you know, outside of
these people gonna be buying Colorado Buffalo. You're gonna see buffaloes all over the place on black people.
So, but now let me ask you, what's the problem with that?
I don't have a problem with it. I'm just letting you know they are not gonna go support HBCUs because, well, we don't want to get into the but they not gonna do it. But they'll support Colorado.
Well, look, you know, that's part of the blueprint of how you really keep people successful or you show real support. You have to go support Colorado because that's who gave Deion Sanders an opportunity. He is a coach that has high school and 3 years of college experience. What other black man can go to a big organization in the Pac-12 or whatever, though, you know, a D1 school and get that type of opportunity? You got guys that are receiver coaches forever and defensive coordinator assistants forever Dion is sitting in the opportunity. And not only did he seize the opportunity, he's taking brothers with him. He has a black coaching staff, black
I'm not
film
against that.
crew.
I'm just
You see
letting
what I'm
you
saying?
know they are not going to be buying Jackson State gear or Alabama State gear or Alcorn State gear. That's not happening. Dion ain't there, out of sight, out of mind.
Well, you
Because
tell
they
Eddie
didn't
George,
care about HBCUs at all. All
you
they
tell
cared about
Eddie
was Dion.
George and all the rest of those guys, or Ray Lewis, or whoever want to go into coaching. You
God,
tell
not Ray
those
Lewis.
brothers to go and start at HBCUs like Dion did. He laid the foundation. That was why I put that post out. People mad at Dion
Eddie
for
is
leaving.
there. Eddie is there. He's just not as high profile a celebrity as Dion. And
Man, let me tell you something, bro.
You can't blame Eddie.
No, I'm not blaming Eddie, but let me say
cameras
this
don't
to you,
follow
bro.
him around.
Let me tell you something. When an NFL guy walk in your living room and he talking that NFL and he went to Ohio State and he was in the NFL, that's heavy weight when you walk into a recruit's living room talking to their parents.
I'm not talking
Because
about the
every
recruits.
recruit want to be where that guy was.
But that's partially true. But I'm not just talking about the recruits. I'm talking about the people and the system. And like you said, just Dion coming there brought eyes to the system that had never been there. That's now that he's gone, they're going to leave because he is one of those stars that shine so bright that you can't ignore him. And while Eddie George was good, NFL Hall of Famer, blah, 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 his star don't shine anywhere near as bright as Dion's. Then that's just, I don't even know that that's arguable. So.
All right, well, peace and love to everybody, man. I appreciate you having me, E, and us talking, and I'll be on tomorrow at 5. Are you going on tomorrow at 3?
I'll be on tomorrow at around 3. As soon as I get here with that little baby, I come right down here and get on the air.
All right, sounds good. Hey, I appreciate everybody for coming in. Thanks. Peace and love to everybody. See you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Feel free to come to the website or YouTube or Facebook on my page. Feel free to do so. E, appreciate you, brother. Nothing but love, okay?
None but love.
All right, man. Holla at y'all. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
You forgot. I'm a kid. 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 I'm a kid.